Chapter 640. First, Blood Immortal Lord. Then, the Soul Protector race's true immortal appeared. Two true immortals had already walked out of the sealed land. Qin Shujian couldn't help but curse. The second true immortal. It was one thing for the Blood Eldar to have a true immortal, but how could a broken race like the Soul Protector race have a true immortal? Now, he felt the deep malice from the four continents. How many races are still sealing true immortals? They're really keeping these true immortals for the critical moment and using them as nuclear weapons. Qin Shujian felt a little tired. Now, a Soul Protector Emperor had attained the Tao. Two true immortals had appeared. Qin Shujian finally understood why the Soul Protector Emperor was confident that he would be the first to attain the Tao. A true immortal protecting the Tao. It was no wonder. With a true immortal protecting the Tao and the opportunity to attain the Tao, who could resist it? He really succeeded. Exchanging an ancient and decaying true immortal for a new true immortal, this was a good deal. He watched as the Soul Protector race's true immortal entered the long river of laws. Qin Shujian felt helpless. The current foundation of the human race couldn't compare to the other races, let alone the past. If they weren't in the void turbulence, if Xiai still had a backup plan, it could be said that the human race didn't have a single true immortal. With the help of Blood Immortal Lord and 5 other experts, the Soul Protector Emperor was instantly pushed back. At the same time, the appearance of the Soul Protector race's true immortal saved the situation. Scattered Soul Immortal Lord. Blood Immortal Lord looked at the old man in front of him, his indifferent face turning solemn. I didn't expect the Soul Protector race to leave you behind. Ha, Blood Immortal Lord. How dare you stop my race's emperor from attaining the Tao? You're courting death. Blood Immortal Lord's turbid eyes shone with endless light as he stared coldly at Blood Immortal Lord. His killing intent had already spread. Blood Immortal Lord said, the Soul Protector race doesn't have the right to be the first to attain the Tao. If you let him back down now, the Soul Protector race will still have a chance of survival. It's not up to you to decide whether I have the right. Stubborn. Defeated Blood Immortal Lord did not waste any time and immediately began to fight Scattered Soul Immortal Lord. As a sealed true immortal, since he had walked out of the sealed land, it was destined that there was no turning back, no matter what. When the nomological lightning tribulation descended, even a true immortal would fall. The Scattered Soul Immortal Lord intervened and intercepted the defeated Blood Immortal Lord. The two true immortals attacked, accompanied by the thunder tribulation of the laws. The vast momentum shook the long river of laws. On the other side, it was unknown what the soul-protecting king had consumed, but all of his injuries had healed. He did not dare to waste any more time. He took a step forward and charged towards the mountain-shaking king and the other experts. Boom! An intense battle broke out. The soul-protecting emperor, who had completed part of his transformation, was able to completely suppress Emperor Hanyue and the other experts after he recovered from his injuries. In the long river of laws, the soul-protecting emperor advanced steadily, while the mountain-shaking emperor and the other experts who were trying to stop him were forced to retreat. Mountain-shaking emperor, you can't stop me, said the Spirit Protection King proudly. When he punched out, his godly will turned into countless sharp blades and attacked the mountain-shaking king, causing him to cough up blood and fall back. As for the other 4 experts, their faces were pale and unsightly. Godly will attack. It was the most difficult to resist. The soul-protecting race was born to play with godly will. Their attainment in this aspect was not something that other races could compare to. When Benhuang achieves the Tao, I'll destroy your race. The soul-protecting king punched out again. A 9th-level heaven-human expert finally could not hold on any longer and his body exploded with a loud bang. Immediately after, the spirit deity escaped from the broken body, showing off in front of an expert. The soul-protecting king had a disdainful look. He grabbed the spirit deity with his palm and directly swallowed it. In an instant, the soul-protecting king's aura became even stronger. He looked at the mountain-shaking king and the other experts with a sinister smile on his face. It's been a long time since I've swallowed a spirit deity. Today, I'll swallow all of you and fulfill Bun Huang's Tao." As soon as he finished speaking, the soul-protecting king had already charged over. After swallowing the spirit deity of a 9th-level heaven human expert, his strength had become even stronger. On the other hand, Mountain Shaking King and the other cultivators, their strength fell step by step. On the other side, the Thunder Tribulation had become more and more powerful. Whether it was blood-defeated Immortal Lord or scattered soul Immortal Lord, their bodies were like porcelain that was about to shatter, cracking under the Thunder Tribulation. The unique power of a true immortal was repairing this damage. However, the speed of repair was far slower than the speed of destruction. Boom! The Thunder Tribulation fell, and scattered soul Immortal Lord's right arm exploded. At the same time, blood-defeated Immortal Lord's shoulder was also shattered. The damage to their bodies did not stop the two true immortals. Instead, the battle became even more intense. How many years has it been? Since 300,000 years ago, I haven't fought so happily like now. Scattered soul, your strength really didn't disappoint me. Blood-defeated Immortal Lord laughed heartily. As a true immortal, only true immortals could enter his eyes. Now, in the long river of laws, only his old opponent, Scattered Soul Immortal Lord, would die with him. To this, blood-defeated Immortal Lord was in a good mood. For true immortals, sealing and living was not what they wanted. It was only for the inheritance of their race that they had to do so, now that they could die in battle. Instead, it was the long-cherished wish of a true immortal. Scattered Soul Immortal Lord's withered face became even more haggard. He said faintly, "On the other hand, your strength has weakened a lot. It seems that this time, you can't stop the emperor of my race from attaining the Tao." "I can't stop it, but he still can't attain the Tao." Blood-defeated Immortal Lord sneered. "You should know that the first true immortal to attain the Tao can only be from the top clans. The Soul Protector race is not qualified." It's not up to you to decide whether they are qualified or not. I also want to see how many true immortals the Blood Eldar can bring out. When Bloodling Huang attains the Tao, will he not need the protection of a true immortal?" Scattered Soul Immortal Lord sneered. He did not care about blood-defeated Immortal Lord's threat at all. Indeed, he was the only true immortal protector of the Soul Protector race. However, being sealed did not mean that he was completely unaware of the current situation. Now, the laws of heaven and earth had just been perfected. The human race had left the eastern continent. In the future, the emperors of the various races would definitely need a true immortal to protect them. Moreover, if the emperors of the human race were to attain the Tao, they would also need a true immortal to stop them. In this way, how many true immortals could the Blood Eldar bring out to stop them? In the Scattered Soul Immortal Lord's opinion, it was enough to have one blood-defeated Immortal Lord. If more true immortals appeared, even if they stopped one Soul Protector Emperor, the Blood Eldar would not be able to control the situation. No, Emperor Han Yue let out a miserable cry. In the end, his body was torn apart by the Soul Protector Emperor and his spirit deity was devoured. Emperor Han Yue died. The Han Yue mystic realm shook. The expressions of the experts of the various races changed drastically. They could not care less about their grief. They hurriedly sealed the mystic realm and did not dare to casually appear again. In the long river of laws, Emperor Han Yue died. The remaining experts were no match for the Soul Protector Emperor at all. In less than 15 minutes, the remaining experts had all died. After devouring the spirit deities of these experts, the Soul Protector Emperor's strength reached a peak. Then, he broke through to the half-immortal level. His cultivation improved. The Soul Protector Emperor did not intervene in the battle between blood-defeated Immortal Lord and Scattered Soul Immortal Lord. For him, attaining the Tao was the most important thing now. The long river of laws surged. The Soul Protector Emperor took a step forward. The turbulent river under his feet gradually calmed down under the suppression of a terrifying force. As for his physical body, under the scouring of the power of laws, it was gradually dyed with a mysterious aura. It was as if there was a faint Tao rhyme circulating. By now, half of the long river of laws had been crossed. Is he going to succeed? Many experts of various races saw this scene, and their expressions changed slightly. The Soul Protector Emperor's strength. It was beyond the imagination of many cultivators. Even if Emperor Hanyu attacked together with other experts, they were still killed by the Soul Protector Emperor. Not only that, even the spirit deity was devoured and turned into nourishment for the Soul Protector Emperor. It could be said that the Soul Protector Emperor was confident of attaining the Tao. In the Qin Yuan realm, Qin Shujian's expression was solemn. His gaze fell on the long river of laws. Can the Soul Protector Emperor succeed? If there are no other experts blocking the path, he should succeed, because it's not difficult to leave a mark on the law monument. Cultivators who can attain the Tao only need to deal with those who block the path. Everything after that will be smooth sailing. Godslayer said indifferently. In his eyes, it didn't matter if the Soul Protector Emperor attained the Tao or not. It had nothing to do with him. Qin Shujian turned his head to look at Godslayer and said, "When the battlefield of laws is opened, can Zhu Bing force his way in?" "Yes, but I don't recommend you do so." "Why?" "The battlefield of laws is the power given by the laws. If non-law forces force their way in, they will encounter the lightning tribulation of laws," Godslayer explained. Hearing this, Qin Shujian gave up the idea of using Godslayer to force his way into the long river of laws in the future. If he did so, there would be lightning tribulation of laws. Who would dare to play then? Even with his strength, he didn't have the confidence to fight against the lightning tribulation of laws. There was no other way. Unless he transcended the restraints of the laws, he would still have to bear the punishment of the laws under them. He retracted his gaze from Godslayer. Qin Shujian looked at the Soul Protector Emperor and thought to himself, the situation now seems calm on the surface, but as long as a perfected immortal is born, this situation will be broken. Could it be that the Soul Protector Emperor really succeeded this time? He wasn't sure. Now, the humans could only be spectators. They didn't have a perfected immortal on hand. They didn't have the right to break through the Tao. Of course, it wasn't that there was no way at all. Half of the long river of laws flowing in the Qin Yuan realm could be used as a means to break through the Tao. However, there was only one way to do this. For a Soul Protector Emperor. To be honest, it wasn't worth it for the humans to use such a foundation. Moreover, if the humans made a move to stop the Tao at this time, would they be feared by other powerhouses? When it came to Tao attainment, the more low-key the humans were, the better. Emperor Zhao hadn't attained the Tao, and Qin Shujian hadn't attained the Tao either. The humans were still not confident. Boom! A vast aura rose from the North Continent. Another perfected immortal walked out. The long river of laws forcibly crashed into the Tao attainment laws, causing the Soul Protector Emperor's expression to change drastically. Even scattered soul, immortal lord. There was no way to remain calm. Does the Berserk demon race also want to fight to the death with the Soul Protector race? Scattered soul, immortal lord growled. The Soul Protector Emperor isn't qualified to be the first to attain the Tao. The Berserk demon race's perfected immortal said indifferently. What he said, it was no different from Blood Immortal Lord. The Soul Protector Emperor roared, "You have no right to judge whether Bin Huang can attain the Tao or not. Die." A terrifying attack instantly erupted. It had already charged toward the Berserk demon race's perfected immortal. He had walked half of the path of Tao attainment and devoured Emperor Hanyu and other powerhouses. The Soul Protector Emperor's strength had already stabilized at the half-immortal level. With such strength, he wasn't afraid of an ancient perfected immortal. At this moment, monstrous killing intent surged in the Soul Protector Emperor's heart. To him, anyone who stopped him from attaining the Tao was an enemy. It was the same for the Hanyu clan. It was the same for Blood Eldar. It was inevitable for the Berserk demon race. Since none of them wanted him to attain the Tao, he would attain the Tao for them to see. Boom, boom. Another battle broke out in the long river of laws. Although the Berserk demon race's perfected immortal was also an ancient perfected immortal, his strength was extraordinary. Even though he had declined to this extent, he was still above a half-immortal. The battle didn't last long. The Soul Protector Emperor was already injured. The 4 continents, all the powerhouses above the 7th level of the heaven-human realm were watching this battle. A Soul Protector Emperor attaining the Tao. It directly involved 3 ancient perfected immortals. These perfected immortals, they were the foundation of the various races for hundreds of thousands of years. Now that a 10th level heaven human realm had attained the Tao, all these foundations were involved. The 3rd perfected immortal, Qin Shu Jian side. From the beginning until now, it had only been half a day, and the 3rd perfected immortal had already appeared. The blood clouds formed by the thunder tribulation had already reached a terrifying level. It seemed to be because of the appearance of many ancient perfected immortals. The laws of heaven and earth were also angered by these stowaways. As such, after the appearance of the Berserk demon race's perfected immortal, the thunder tribulation became even more violent. In the long river of laws, the Soul Protector Emperor was coughing up blood from the attacks of the Berserk demon race's perfected immortal. Although he was a half-immortal, the other party's strength was indeed that of a perfected immortal. Even if there was the restraint of the thunder tribulation, the true immortal of the Berserk demon race was not something that the Soul Protector Emperor could contend against. Boom! The fist landed. The Soul Protector Emperor's body exploded. He looked at the unparalleled aura of the Berserk demon race's perfected immortal, his face full of unwillingness. Impossible, Bin Huang will not fail. Today, Bin Huang attaining the Tao, no one can stop him. He was unwilling. He was furious. In order to attain the Tao, the Soul Protector race had paid too much. If he failed this time, the Soul Protector race might not be spared. As such, no matter what, for the Soul Protector Emperor, he had to succeed this time. In the long river of laws, the 2 battlefields had gradually merged into one. The Soul Protector Emperor and Scattered Soul Immortal Lord joined forces to deal with defeated Blood Immortal Lord and the Berserk demon race's perfected immortal. All of a sudden, a voice sounded in the Soul Protector Emperor's mind. Retreat. Hearing this, without thinking, he frantically retreated. In the next moment, Scattered Soul Immortal Lord's body exploded with a bang. A perfected immortal self-detonation. The power was enough to destroy heaven and earth. The destructive power erupted, instantly swallowing defeated Blood Immortal Lord and the Berserk demon race's perfected immortal. That was not all. The destructive aftermath caused the entire long river of laws to tremble violently. Finally, under the impact of this force, it broke into 2. The long river of laws. The law monument was also shattered. Although the Soul Protector Emperor dodged, he was still seriously injured by this impact. However, although he was seriously injured, he did not care about anything else. When the law monument shattered, he forcefully held a part of the fragments in his hand and then imprinted his mark on it. Next, half of the long river of laws rolled backward. The Soul Protector Emperor completely disappeared in the long river of laws with the broken law monument. At the same time, bloody rain poured down in the North Continent. The Blood Eldar, the Soul Protector race, and the Berserk demon race could not help but feel sad in their hearts. Did they succeed, or did they fail? Looking at the mother river of laws that was gradually disappearing in the sky, every cultivator's face was filled with astonishment. Other than astonishment, there was also shock that had not completely faded. No one expected that the Scattered Soul Immortal Lord would suddenly self-destruct, and that terrifying force would instantly pull down the other 2 perfected immortals to be buried with him. That destructive force, even though it exploded in the mother river of laws, the destructive aura that leaked out still shocked all the powerhouses. That force, even if a Nirvana realm powerhouse was affected, they would at least be seriously injured. If it was more serious, it was not impossible for them to die. Senior, do you think he succeeded? In the Qian Yuan realm, Qin Shujian's face was also a little confused. The situation of the battle changed rapidly. What happened in the long river of laws, he had not expected at all. The Scattered Soul Immortal Lord's decisiveness, he directly brought down 2 perfected immortals with him. Even the long river of laws was smashed to pieces. Qin Shujian wasn't sure if the soul-protecting Emperor's Tao validation had succeeded. The only thing he knew was that the Soul Protector Emperor did not die. Hearing this, the Godslayer said in a deep voice, The body of the long river of laws is broken. This is an irreparable scar. The Soul Protector Emperor's Tao validation naturally failed, but at the last moment, he snatched a law monument. If I'm not wrong, he should be the number one person below the perfected immortal realm. The number one person below the perfected immortal realm. Qin Shujian was a little puzzled. They all failed. How could he be the number one person? The god-slaying saber said, if you want to prove your Tao successfully, you must leave your mark on the law monument. Although the law is broken now and the law monument is broken, the soul-protecting king still got a fragment. By relying on this fragment, he had already grasped a rule in disguise. It's just that this law has been broken, and there is not much power that can be used, but it has completed the transformation. In this case, you can say that he is a perfected immortal, but such a perfected immortal is probably the weakest perfected immortal in history. There are no anomalies in the world, most likely because they are unwilling to recognize such a perfected immortal. That's why I said that he is the number one person below the perfected immortal realm. He was a perfected immortal, but he was not a perfected immortal. When Qin Shujian heard this, he also understood what kind of state the Soul Protector Emperor was in. The other party had indeed succeeded in Tao validation. However, the laws that he had mastered were broken, so the strength of the Soul Protector Emperor was much weaker than ordinary perfected immortals. It had reached a level that even the world was unwilling to recognize. As such, it did not make sense to say that the other party was a perfected immortal. So, the Godslayer classified him as the number one person below the perfected immortal realm. Qin Shujian was also very curious about how he should be addressed. He really wanted to know, how strong was the Soul Protector Emperor now? Then, Qin Shujian looked up at the long river of laws in the Qian Yuan realm and said, in that case, if someone has fused with half of Senior Xiaoyi's law, they can only be the weakest perfected immortal realm? It's different. The Godslayer shook his head and said, similarly, there are big and small laws. The law that the Soul Protector Emperor walked on is not very strong. It can only be said to be below average. Such a law was not strong when it was complete. Now that the law is broken, its strength has been further weakened, and its role is limited. However, Xiaoyi's law is different. He is a perfected immortal in the middle three levels. The law that he walked on has also been opened up to a very strong level. Don't look down on him just because he only has half a law. But seriously speaking, the Soul Protector Emperor's complete law might not be comparable to someone who used half a law to achieve Tao. There was no difference in strength between laws that had grown to the limit. But obviously, if Xiaoyi's half of the law had grown more than half, then the Soul Protector Emperor's law was still in the child stage. Such a law, at most, it had given birth to some lower three levels of perfected immortals. How could it be comparable to the laws in the hands of middle three levels of perfected immortals? Hearing that, Qin Shujian had a better understanding of the half-law of the Qian Yuan realm. To put it this way, using half of Xiaoyi's law to achieve Tao was much better than the Soul Protector Emperor who achieved Tao on his own. However, compared to the later growth, half a law was ultimately inferior to a complete law. If the self-destruction of a perfected immortal can destroy the law, wouldn't it be more accurate if an ancient perfected immortal self-destructs when others achieve Tao? Qin Shujian's expression was solemn. He thought of the Tao attainers of the human race. He had gathered so many allies in order to escort Emperor Zhao to achieve Tao. If a random perfected immortal could destroy the long river of laws, it would be awkward. It was not impossible. Compared to stopping the experts of the human race from achieving Tao, sacrificing an ancient perfected immortal was nothing at all. In any case, these sealed true immortals had only one purpose to this day. If they could use a perfected immortal in exchange for the opportunity to destroy Emperor Zhao's Tao attainment, it would undoubtedly be a great deal. The god-slaying saber shook his head and said calmly, "You think too simply of attaining the Tao. Not all true immortals self-destruct can destroy the long river of laws. Even the self-destruction of a true immortal can hardly shake the powerful long river of laws. The law that Emperor Zhao walked on naturally wouldn't be such a weak law. Even if a perfected immortal self-destructs, there won't be any damage. Unless it's a perfected immortal above the middle three levels, it might have some effect. Senior, are you talking about the middle 3 levels of perfected immortals like these sealed perfected immortals, or the ones at their peak? Of course, they're at their peak. Hearing that, Qin Shujian was relieved. If that was the case, then the problem was not big. There were still hidden perfected immortals in the 4 continents, but those were all sealed perfected immortals. It was impossible for them to be at the middle 3 levels of perfected immortals at their peak. Then, Qin Shujian integrated what Godslayer said, and finally came to a conclusion. The soul-protecting emperor was too weak. However, it was also because the soul-protecting emperor was weak that the other party had the chance to become the weakest perfected immortal. Or else, Qin Shujian guessed that there should be a 4th perfected immortal. When that time came, the soul-protecting emperor would only have a dead end. Soon, Qin Shujian gathered all the elders of the sacred ground in the Qinyuan Hall for a meeting. It was different from before. Now there was one more elder in the sacred ground, and that was Qi Tiansheng, who had just broken through. Looking at everyone, Qin Shujian said, "The soul-protecting emperor has achieved the Tao. The Berserk Demon, Blood Spirit, and soul-protecting clans have all lost a perfected immortal. Putting aside the Blood Eldar, the Berserk Demon and soul-protecting clans should not have a second perfected immortal. Although the soul-protecting emperor's breakthrough is not a complete success, his strength must have increased greatly. This way, the North Continent will definitely be in chaos. I need the Holy Land to take advantage of the chaos in the North Continent to infiltrate the Holy Land spies and send back information about the North Continent. If there's a chance, we might be able to alleviate the current situation of the human race." After that, the elders of the sacred ground all had different expressions. Fang Xinglan cupped his hands and said, "Emperor Qin, are you planning to join forces with the soul-protecting clan to attack the Blood Eldar?" "No." Qin Shujian shook his head. "The human clan will not participate in the war between the soul-protecting clan and the Blood Eldar for the time being. Moreover, the soul-protecting clan may not attack the Blood Eldar." "That's right. The Blood Spirit clan is very powerful after all. Compared to the Mad Devil clan and the Mountain Shaking clan, they are much weaker. If the soul-protecting emperor's strength has increased greatly like what Qin Shihuang said, then the soul-protecting emperor's strength must have increased greatly. Then the soul-protecting clan should be attacking the 2 clans next." Qin Yuanbai nodded slightly and said in agreement. This was Emperor Qin's goal. He knew it very well. Now the 3 continents were suppressing the human clan and the human clan's territory and did not give other humans a chance to move. If the North Continent was in chaos now, the human clan could take this opportunity to find a breakthrough in the North Continent. After all, in terms of intelligence, the human clan was still too weak. The reason was, it was because the human clan could not go deep into the 3 continents. Otherwise, with the human clan's infiltration ability, it would not be a problem to obtain a lot of secret intelligence. Qi Tiansheng said in a deep voice, "Emperor Qin, in your opinion, how powerful is the soul-protecting emperor now?" The soul-protecting emperor is already considered an immortal. But because the rules are broken, his strength can only be considered the weakest true immortal in history. He is also a true immortal that the heavens and earth are not willing to recognize. He is probably the strongest person below the true immortal. Qin Shujian passed on the Godslayer's words. The strongest person below the true immortal. Hearing this, Qi Tiansheng and the others had a strange expression on their faces. This title, if it was someone else, it would naturally be a supreme honor. But if it was a true immortal who had successfully attained the Tao, it would be a bit of a slap in the face. To be honest, Qin Shujian also wanted to test the strength of the strongest person below the true immortal. Unfortunately, there was no chance for this at the moment. Now the human clan was in a delicate situation. The situation in the North Continent had also become delicate after the soul-protecting emperor attained the Tao. At this moment, if he fought with the soul-protecting emperor, this explosive barrel might directly explode. Before and after Emperor Zhao attained the Tao, Qin Shujian did not want too much attention to fall on the human clan. For the time being, the Qinyuan sacred ground should not interfere in the battle between the various clans. Ben Huang has already noticed that the human clan's luck is fluctuating. Emperor Zhao should not be far away from attaining the Tao. If the human clan can produce a true immortal, we can completely resolve the current crisis. But if Emperor Zhao fails to attain the Tao, then things will be bad. Qi Tiansheng and the others trembled. Emperor Zhao was about to attain the Tao. If this news were to spread, it would be enough to shock the human clan. They also understood the importance of Emperor Zhao. Now there were only 2 strong people supporting the human clan. If Emperor Zhao fell, then the human clan would lose an arm. Needless to say, the loss would be great. Looking at the shocked faces of everyone, Qin Shujian did not hide this matter. The timing of attaining the Tao was a secret, but also not a secret, because when that day came, the rules of heaven and earth would naturally expose the person who attained the Tao to the living beings of the 4 continents. Just like the soul-protecting emperor, he attained the Tao in front of everyone. Now, no matter how well the news was hidden, when Emperor Zhao attained the Tao, there would be no way to hide it. Speaking of which, Qin Shujian changed the topic and said, if the soul-protecting race is no match for the Blood Eldar, we can try to rope him in. If he really has this idea, send it back to the sacred land, and Bin Huang will talk to him personally. The weakest true immortal. That was also a true immortal. Even if this true immortal was so weak that he could not be considered a true immortal. As for these strong people, Qin Shujian still hoped to rope them in, not to mention other things. Just when the strong people of the human clan attained the Tao, the soul-protecting emperor could also break through the Tao and enter. The few of them looked at each other. Then, Qi Tianxing cupped his hands and said, Emperor Qin, leave this matter to me. I will also think of a way to send someone to the North Continent to investigate and see if I can find Uncle Master. Brother Hanhai has now become a demon, and his strength is unparalleled. Even if you really find him, you might not be able to persuade him to change his mind. Moreover, a person who has become a demon does not recognize anyone. With your current strength, if you go against him, I am afraid you will be in trouble. Qin Shujian warned. He knew the reason why Qi Tianxing wanted to take this matter. After all, Si Hanhai was the great elder of the Fu Hai sect, and also Qi Tianxing's uncle master. It was understandable that he wanted to find him. Qi Tianxing said in a low voice, I understand. But no matter what, I will find Uncle Master and ask him about it. Okay. Qin Shujian nodded slightly. If Brother Hanhai can return, the strength of the human clan will also increase. He casually comforted him. Actually, Qin Shujian knew very well in his heart. Si Hanhai had already decided to leave the human clan when he established the demon clan. It would be very difficult for Qi Tianxing to persuade him back. For someone who has become a demon, Qin Shujian did not know much about it. But from what the Godslayer said, he knew that a person who has become a demon would not be merciful even if it was his own son. However, Qin Shujian did not persuade him too much. He only saw a jade talisman appear in his hand, and then the jade talisman rose from his palm and landed in front of Qi Tianxing. The jade talisman contains a bit of Bin Huang's power, although it cannot help you kill strong enemies. But if you meet an enemy that you cannot defeat, it may give you a chance of survival. Thank you, Qin Emperor. Qi Tianxing was excited, and then solemnly took the jade talisman in his hand. Although Qin Shujian said it casually, but he understood. A jade talisman with a bit of Bin Huang's power. How could it be compared to a normal treasure? Regarding Qin Shujian's strength, Qi Tianxing was truly shocked. 36,000 combat power. Even if only a sliver of it was released, it could easily suppress him. The other elders saw this scene, and their eyes were filled with envy. But no one said anything. Qin Shujian's purpose of giving the jade talisman was to ensure that nothing would go wrong. It was not easy for the human clan to have a diviner. If he felt like this, it would be a pity. Among the other clans, there were many diviners, and only the powerful ones could truly control a region. Compared to them, the human clan was much worse. Soul Protection Realm. The Soul Protection King sat on the main seat in the main hall, with his eyes closed, as if he had entered a state of cultivation. The other elders of the Soul Protection race also sat there with a serious expression. In the Soul Protection King's mind, a broken steel of laws stood in the middle of it. A broken law. It quietly flowed in the mind, emitting a mysterious wave. This time, the true immortals of the 2 clans blocked the Soul Protection King's breakthrough and almost failed. Although the scattered soul immortal lord self-destructed at the last moment, causing all the true immortals to die together. At the same time, the power of the self-destruction shattered the Law River, giving him a chance to extract the Law River from the mother stream. After all, achieving the Tao was achieving the Tao. However, not every true immortal who had attained the Tao had the opportunity to extract the laws they had mastered from the mother stream of laws. But the Soul Protection King saw the broken law in his mind, and a strong murderous intent emerged in his heart. Extracting the law was good, but the law was broken. It also caused his strength to drop to a freezing point. This way, the Soul Protection King would rather not extract the law and instead fully master a law so that he wouldn't be in such a difficult situation. After a long time, the soul-protecting emperor opened his eyes. As his eyes opened, the space in the hall suddenly froze. A terrifying and vast aura spread out from the Soul Protection King, causing the entire Soul Protection realm to tremble slightly. In front of this aura, all the elders of the Soul Protector tribe in the hall bowed slightly to show their respect to the emperor. At this moment, the first elder of the Soul Protection race said with a burning gaze, "May I ask if my emperor has succeeded in achieving the Tao?" He saw the fierce battle between the true immortals and also the shattering of the Law River. It was just that he hadn't reached that level yet. This first elder of the Soul Protection race didn't know much about becoming an immortal. Achieving the Tao? Hearing this, the Soul Protection King felt a little heartbroken. Then, he glanced at the broken law in his mind and finally nodded. "Bin Huang has succeeded in achieving the Tao. Congratulations, my emperor. My emperor has achieved the Tao, and our race will definitely reach the peak. God bless our Soul Protection race." Many elders of the Soul Protection race cried tears of joy. True immortal. After 200,000 years, the Soul Protection race finally had its first true immortal. The first elder of the Soul Protection race was also excited. "My emperor, since you've already become an immortal, can our race now attack the Blood Eldar?" If they could replace the Blood Eldar, then the Soul Protection race was the top race in the North Continent. The Soul Protection King shook his head slightly and said, "There's no need to rush the Blood Eldar for now. This time, Bin Huang has achieved the Tao, and there are a few powerhouses from other races who have interfered. Let's start with them first. After our race has annexed these few races, we'll consolidate our strength and make arrangements to deal with the Blood Eldar." The elders of the Soul Protection race were a little disappointed, but they quickly recovered. An elder said, "I wonder which race my emperor plans to start with? Since Emperor Hanyue has fallen, let's destroy the Hanyue race." The Soul Protection King's eyes were cold. The Hanyue race. It's time to settle the matter of those who have obstructed the Tao. P.S. If you want a tip, unless it's the Silver or Gold Alliance, cough cough, I suggest you tip the characters so that Old Sheen can rise in stars faster. Chapter 641. The Soul Protection Emperor achieved the Tao. It completely broke the restriction that no true immortal had been born in the 4 great continents for 200,000 years. In the eyes of many cultivators, if the Soul Protection Emperor didn't die, then it was a success. Furthermore, the Soul Protector tribe also spread the news about the Soul Protector Emperor's ascension. It was also because of this the Soul Protector race's reputation soared. Many factions in the North Continent maintained a wait-and-see attitude. Anyone could understand. When the Soul Protection Emperor attained the Tao, there were many races that tried to stop him. Now, the other party had attained the Tao. In that case, it was only natural to settle the grudges from before. However, they did not know which force the Soul Protector race would attack first. Vaguely, some forces also wanted to take a look. Now that the Soul Protector race had a true immortal, would they be able to fight against the Blood Eldar? After a few days of silence, the Soul Protector race moved out in large numbers. Some cultivators thought that the Soul Protection King was going to attack the Blood Eldar, but it turned out that his target was the Mountain Shaking clan, which had already lost an emperor. The Blood Eldar is too strong. Even if the Soul Guard Emperor has become a true immortal, he wouldn't dare to make the first move. Some experts had solemn looks on their faces. Even the true immortal of the Soul Protector race did not attack the Blood Eldar. From this, It could be seen that the Blood Eldar's foundation was much stronger than it seemed. However, he thought of the goal of the Soul Protector race. There were also cultivators who mourned for the Mountain Shaking clan. Mountain Shaking's secret territory. After the fall of the Mountain Hanue Emperor, the Mountain Hanue tribe had sealed off the secret ground. However, they still paid attention to the news from the outside world. The Soul Protector race had sent troops to attack the Hanue race. The Hanue clan received the news immediately. What should we do? The soul-protecting emperor has already become an immortal. If he were to attack our tribe, we won't be able to stop him with our current strength. Yushan panicked. He was an elder of the Hanue race and a heavenly being. However, in front of the Soul Guard race, even mighty figures were of little use. In the past, with Emperor Hanue around, the Hanue tribe and the Soul Protector tribe would not have much of a difference in strength. But now, Emperor Yuanshan had fallen. On the other hand, the soul-protecting emperor had broken through to immortal ascension. He was facing a true immortal. Even if they mobilized the entire clan's strength, it would still be difficult to resist. Hearing this, Great Elder Yuling's face turned solemn. My emperor has blocked the path. It is only natural for the Spirit Protector tribe to protect him. With our tribe's current strength, sealing the secret realm might not work. The enmity of obstructing the Tao transcended life and death. Now that Emperor Hanue had failed, the Hanue clan's strength had been greatly reduced, and they were facing the danger of being exterminated. It was the same logic. If the Soul Protection Emperor failed, in that case, not only would a Soul Guardian Emperor fall, but the entire Soul Guardian race would also be in danger of being exterminated. As such, the hatred for obstructing the path was no less than the hatred for the survival of a race. It was understandable that the Spirit Protector race had the strength to protect him. Subsequently, Yuling said, the Soul Protector race has a true immortal, so other forces don't dare to challenge them. Now, we only have two choices. Either we submit to the Blood Eldar, or we move the arcane realm away. Join the Blood Eldar. That meant that the Hanue clan would become a vassal of the Blood Eldar. In that case, the Hanue clan would be firmly suppressed by the Blood Eldar, and there would be no way out in the future. This was the sorrow of not having an emperor. Even if they submitted to other races, they would only end up as cannon fodder. Moreover, most of the clan's resources would have to be allocated to the Blood Eldar. If they moved the arcane realm away, it was the same as saying, the Hanue clan would completely give up this territory that they had operated for hundreds of thousands of years and start all over again. After all, a clan's force, although its foundation was in the arcane realm, but outside the arcane realm, it took a lot of effort to maintain the force's territory. It would not be easy to abandon it all at once. Hearing this, the scene fell silent. Then an elder said, our tribe doesn't have an emperor. Even if we submit to the Blood Eldar, we won't end up well. In that case, we might as well move the arcane realm away. I agree. The Soul Protection Emperor is not the only one who has become an immortal. There will definitely be more true immortals born in the future. Our tribe doesn't have a 10th level celestial being expert now, so we may not be able to produce a true immortal expert. Without a true immortal, we are just ants. Yushan shook his head and said, when the laws of heaven and earth were not perfect, the Nirvana realm was the peak. Now, the laws were perfect. True immortals were the overlords. In the past, it was fine if there were no true immortals, but now that there were soul protection emperors, it proved that heaven and earth had allowed the birth of true immortals. The Hanue clan did not have a 10th level celestial being now. Even if they wanted to produce a true immortal, there was no way. In this way, some things were very difficult. Yushan could foresee that in the future, the clans with true immortals would be the true overlords. Without true immortals, they could only rely on one side or struggle at death's door. Hearing this, another elder suggested, why don't we submit to the humans? The humans are now surrounded by enemies on all sides and are trying to rope in allies. If we submit to them, our status won't be too low. No, if we submit to the humans now, we'll be digging our own graves. Yuling flatly refused. Submitting to the humans was no different from courting death. The eastern continent has opened, and the laws of heaven and earth are perfect. Heaven and earth have entered the era of great competition. The humans are just the beginning of the era of great competition. Now, although the clans haven't attacked the humans, in fact, they are all watching the humans. As long as the humans have experts who achieve the Tao, the clans will definitely not let them succeed. And when the experts like Bloodling Huang and the Demon Emperor achieve the Tao, the humans will definitely be destroyed. In my opinion, those clans who ally with the humans are just courting death. Talking about the situation, the humans were much more serious than the Yuanyue clan. Submitting to the humans, that was like cutting one's throat with a knife. Soon, after the elders had made their decision, Yu Ling activated the Yuanyue's secret realm and completely left this space, fleeing into the distance. After the Yuanyue emperor died, the Grand Elder immediately recognized the secret realm as its master to prevent any accidents. From the outside world, the void shook. It seemed that something was quickly retreating. In the many cities of the Yuanyue clan's territory, there were experts who raised their heads and looked at the shaking void. The Yuanyue clan retreated, moving the secret realm. They're giving up everything the Yuanyue clan has worked on for so many years. This scene immediately made the cultivators realize what had happened. The Yuanyue clan retreated. This surprised them, but it was also within reason. After all, the Soul Protector race's army was about to attack. At this moment, the Yuanyue clan was confident that they could fight against the Soul Protector race. Otherwise, retreating seemed to be the only way out. When the Yuanyue clan retreated, dark clouds rolled in the sky. A large number of Soul Protector race experts flew over and appeared in the Yuanyue clan's territory. The Soul Protector race looked at the shaking void. He directly struck out with his palm. Boom! A vast energy palm shattered the void for 10,000 miles. A terrifying power swept out in all directions, shaking the hearts of all the cultivators. Found you! The Soul Protector race's eyes were cold. He took a step forward, and the river of laws under his feet suppressed the void. The shattered void was about to heal. However, under the suppression of the river of laws, it remained in a broken state. He could only see behind the empty space. Countless tendrils were emerging from the ground. These roots took root between heaven and earth. There seemed to be nothing behind the roots, but there seemed to be something behind them. At this moment, these roots were desperately escaping. In the next instant, the rule steel appeared. The Soul Protector race slammed it down. Buzz! A terrifying power spread out in an instant. All the cultivators who sensed this power seemed to be focused. They looked up in horror and saw the vast rule steel suppressing the roots. A large number of roots broke apart. Inside the Yuanyue's secret realm, when the Soul Protector race's attack arrived, the entire secret realm shook violently. As the person in charge of the secret realm, Yu Ling's face was pale. He kept coughing up blood as he controlled the Yuanyue's secret realm to escape. The expressions of Yushan and the other cultivators changed drastically. First Elder. They thought that by controlling the secret realm to escape, they could avoid the Soul Protector race's attack. Unexpectedly, the Soul Protector race could still shatter the void and find the location of the Yuanyue's secret realm. Looking at everyone's worried expression, Yu Ling forced a smile and said, "It's okay. Our secret realm was opened by a true immortal who was close to the middle 3 levels. It was also nurtured by generations of true immortals. It's not that easy for the Soul Protector race to break through the secret realm. Although the Soul Protector race was already a true immortal, it was not that easy to break through the secret realm. However, the Yuanyue's secret realm shook. As a member of the secret realm, Yu Ling was also seriously injured. That power, it acted on the spiritual deity, giving him a splitting headache. However, Yu Ling was a top expert in the 9th level of the heaven-human realm. Such an injury could not seriously injure him. Then, he spat out a mouthful of thick blood. The escape speed of the secret realm became even faster. "You want to leave?" The Soul Protector race's expression was gloomy. Although the rule steel suppression was powerful, it did not completely suppress the secret realm, because the rule steel was not complete. If it was complete, that attack just now was enough to tear the secret realm apart. Another finger seal was launched. The primeval chaos astral finger shook heaven and earth. The violent power bombarded the secret realm, causing it to tremble even more violently. However, under the bombardment of such power, not only did the Yuan-US secret realm not shatter, but it also fled even faster along with the impact of this power. In just a moment, the secret realm completely disappeared in the shattered void. The Soul Protector Race Emperor kept the rule steel again. His gloomy face gradually became indifferent, but there was a terrifying killing intent in his eyes. One could feel the anger in his heart. Escaped. The Yuan-Yue clan had escaped in the end. Without Zhu Bing in his hands, his own rules were not perfect. The Soul Protector Race Emperor had no way to easily tear the secret realm apart. However, the scene of him making a move just now had already shocked all the cultivators. That kind of power, it was already boundlessly powerful. Then, the Soul Protector Race Emperor shouted in a deep voice, "This place will belong to my Soul Protector race. No forces are allowed to touch it." After saying that, the many Soul Protector race experts behind him descended from the void and headed towards the various cities. These cities originally belonged to the Yuan-Yue clan, but now they were all taken over by the Soul Protector race. Then, the Soul Protector Race Emperor looked at the ground below and reached out his hand. Suddenly, the ground shook and cracked. A huge spiritual vein that was hundreds of miles long was forcefully pulled out by him. That was the spiritual vein in the Yuan-Yue clan's territory. After collecting the spiritual vein, the spiritual energy here suddenly decreased by a lot. The cultivators in the city had different expressions, but no one dared to express their dissatisfaction. The Yuan-Yue clan had fled. Which of the remaining cultivators dared to anger the Soul Protector race? In half a month's time, the Soul Protector race acted wantonly, destroying or subduing several races and plundering their spiritual vein resources, causing the Soul Protector race's strength to greatly increase. This news, it was also sent back to the human race immediately. Banqing said, "Now that the Soul Protector race has annexed several races, they haven't made any moves, nor do they have any intention of making a move against the Blood Eldar. It seems that they have some scruples. It's normal for them to have scruples. The Blood Eldar's foundation and strength are not something that a true immortal can threaten." Qin Shujian was not too surprised. If the Soul Protector Race Emperor was a true immortal, then it would be fine. The Blood Eldar definitely had no foundation to stop them. But the other party's strength, compared to a true immortal, there was still a certain gap. Under such circumstances, as long as the Blood Eldar walked out of a sealed ancient true immortal, he might be able to fight with the Soul Protector Race Emperor until both sides were injured. As long as the Soul Protector Race Emperor was injured, the other races could also understand that this true immortal was strong on the outside but weak on the inside. When that time came, the Soul Protector race was much less intimidating. Therefore, if he was not completely confident, the Soul Protector Race Emperor would definitely not make a move against the Blood Eldar. As for the Blood Eldar, he also turned a blind eye to the Soul Protector race's actions. Therefore, after the initial turmoil in the North Continent, there was not much movement. Qin Shujian chuckled and said, "This Soul Protector Race Emperor is very clear about his position. He knows that his strength is not enough to shake the Blood Eldar, so he did not do anything to fight to the death." On the Blood Eldar's side, Bloodling Huang should be preparing to attain the Tao and did not pay much attention to the Soul Protector race's actions. As long as Bloodling Huang can attain the Tao, the Soul Protector Race Emperor will definitely not be able to contend against him. The Soul Protector Race Emperor attained the Tao. This proved that the other emperors of the heaven-human realm had a very high chance of attaining the Tao. As a result, the top races would be in an awkward situation. Cui Huai said in a deep voice, "So, the Soul Protector Race Emperor is admitting defeat to the Blood Eldar? We can't rule out this possibility." Qin Shujian shook his head and said calmly, "No matter how weak a true immortal is, he is still a true immortal. As long as the Soul Protector Race Emperor is sensible, the Blood Eldar might not fall out with him." However, his last words, he did not say anything else. Neutral. It was impossible. If it was in the past, he might have been able to maintain a neutral attitude. However, now that the East Continent had opened, the situation had become tense. The so-called neutrality, it was just courting death. As long as there was a winner between the human race and the other races, the winner would sooner or later make a move and devour all the neutral forces. The only difference was whether it was sooner or later. Therefore, in Qin Shujian's opinion, the Soul Protector Race Emperor's current actions were a little indecisive and might not be a good thing. At this moment, he also looked at his own attributes. Since breaking through to the 6th level of the Celestial Being Realm, the cleared life source had grown to more than 300 billion, of which 200 billion was contributed by the human race. The remaining part was contributed by the Eldar. The amount of life source harvested from the destruction of a race could be described as extremely rich. The last time I broke through to the 6th level of the Celestial Being Realm, I used more than 400 billion life source. This time, I will need at least 500 billion. It seems that there is still a long way to go before I can break through to the 7th level of the Celestial Being Realm. However, Qin Shujian was not in a hurry. Now that more and more people were cultivating the Universe Tao-Seeking Sutra, and it was easy to get started, the strength of the human race was also steadily increasing. If this trend continued, the speed of harvesting life source would also become faster. Putting everything else aside, based on the contribution of 100 billion life source per month, it would only take a few months to reach 500 billion. In other words, Qin Shujian was confident that he could break through to the 7th level of the Celestial Being Realm within a year. Once he broke through to the 7th level of the Celestial Being Realm, he should be able to contend with true immortals of the lower 3 levels. Of course, this was just Qin Shujian's own guess, and he was not 100% sure. What are the movements of the players now? After the last time the players gathered and were defeated by you, they have quieted down a lot. Now, many players have left the Eastern continent and gone to the other 3 continents to explore opportunities. Qin Yuanbai said in a deep voice. Qin Shujian said, the divine level cultivation method cannot be taught to the players, but some divine level cultivation methods can be taught, and it can also win the hearts of the players. At this stage, the players were not strong. To many players, a god-tier cultivation technique was a treasure that was hard to obtain. The Qinyuan Sacred Ground released these cultivation methods. It could also ease the players' emotions. More importantly, even if the divine level cultivation methods were released, no players would break through to the divine martial arts realm in the next few years. On the contrary, the Qinyuan Sacred Ground released some cultivation methods so that some players would not be too dissatisfied with the Sacred Ground. Although the cultivation methods were released, they were not given to the players unconditionally. They still had to do the missions. After all, players who did not do the missions were still players. Qin Shujian was thinking about how to take advantage of this situation. He thought about it. He looked at Yin Banqing and the others and said, issue a mission to all the players. As long as they kill foreign cultivators, 10 spirit gods can be exchanged for a low-grade spiritual level cultivation method. 10 airborne realm cultivators can be exchanged for a mid-grade spiritual level cultivation method. 10 visionary divine realm cultivators can be exchanged for an upper-grade spiritual level cultivation method. Killing 5 foreign cultivators in the early stage of the divine martial arts realm can be exchanged for a low-grade divine level cultivation method. Killing 5 in the middle stage of the divine martial arts realm can be exchanged for a mid-grade divine level cultivation method. Killing 5 in the late stage of the divine martial arts realm can be exchanged for an upper-grade divine level cultivation method. As for those below the spirit martial arts realm, they can also use the bodies of foreign cultivators to exchange for corresponding resources. The Qinyuan Sacred Ground has all kinds of cultivation methods and martial arts. Since he could not kill all the players, he would use them. He would make the best use of them and let these players harm other races. With the strength of the players, it was difficult to deal with the diviner realm cultivators, but there was still a chance to defeat the cultivators below the diviner realm, even after the cultivation world was ruled. Because the players were not native humans, they could no longer provide him with a source of life. But Qin Shujian would not let go of this opportunity to weaken the strength of foreign cultivators. The foreign cultivators were all diviner realm cultivators. They were all celestial realm cultivators, and cultivators below the celestial realm were dispensable. But in fact, any strong cultivator rose from the bottom. As long as the foreign cultivators below the diviner realm were killed, it would have a great effect to a certain extent. After all, the players were the ones who killed them. It had nothing to do with the other races. Even if the other races were dissatisfied, it was a matter between them and the players. Qin Shujian did not think that he would take the blame. He left the Qianyuan sacred ground. Ningbo did not go to other continents. Instead, he stayed in the eastern continent to gain experience. It was very simple. Although his strength was not weak, it was only relative to the level of the true martial realm. If he was in the 4 major continents, not to mention the 4th level of the true martial realm, even if he was at the peak of the true martial realm, he was just an ant. So, Ningbo was also very self-aware. He only gained experience in the eastern continent. After all, the Qianyuan sacred ground now occupied half of the eastern continent. As a member of the Qianyuan sacred ground, as long as he did not deliberately seek death, there was basically no danger to his life. Half a month later, Ningbo climbed mountains and waded through rivers. He had completely left the scope of the Liangshan spirit domain and reached other areas. Now they came to a halt in front of a sect. Ningbo of the Qianyuan sacred ground is here to challenge Raobai of the Red Dragon sect. Please pass on the message. Looking at the guarding disciple in front of him, Ningbo said with a faint smile. Hearing this, the guarding disciple thought that he had heard wrong. He looked at Ningbo in front of him and asked, "What did you just say?" "I heard that senior brother Raobai is on the true martial list. I am here to challenge him," Ningbo said again. The guard disciple suddenly revealed a strange expression. "You can challenge senior brother Raobai, but senior brother Raobai isn't someone that anyone can meet. If everyone did this, senior brother Raobai would be very busy." Ever since Raobai reached the top of the true martial list, there were at least 800 people like Ningbo who came to challenge him. There was no other way. The heaven list was set up by the Qin Emperor of the Qianyuan sacred ground. All the people in the world were on the list. Only the strongest 100 people were on the list. For everyone, it was a supreme honor to be able to leave one's name on the heaven list. Even the Red Dragon sect, it was also because of this incident that his reputation in the world of cultivators grew considerably. Therefore, in the eyes of the guarding disciple, Ningbo was similar to other people who came to challenge him. As for the name of the Qianyuan sacred ground, it was not worth mentioning. Now, the Qianyuan sacred ground controlled the fate of the world sections. All the cultivators of the human race could say that they were from the Qianyuan sacred ground. Other things aside, take the Red Dragon sect for example. The disciples of the Red Dragon sect could say that they were from the Red Dragon sect, but they could also say that they were from the Qianyuan sacred ground. This was just a name. In fact, it was not very useful. If you want to see senior brother Raobai, you can leave your mark on it, and you will be able to see him. The guarding disciple pointed to something on the side and said lightly. Hearing this, Ningbo looked over and saw a stone tablet standing tall. On the stone tablet, there were many marks on it. There were knife marks, sword marks, and so on. Heavenly Dipper Stone. The moment he saw the stone tablet, Ningbo recognized the origin of the stone tablet. Heavenly Dipper Stone. It was a hard stone. In order to leave a mark on it, one must have a certain level of strength. Obviously, this was also a method used by the Red Dragon sect to identify the strength of the cultivators. If one could not even leave a mark on the Heavenly Dipper Stone, there was naturally no possibility of challenging Raobai. Gong Mingze, who was hiding in the dark, saw this and couldn't help but laugh and shake his head. A small sect in the spirit domain has the aura of those big sections. Laughter was laughter. Gong Mingze also understood that a cultivator who could be on the heaven list had a lot of weight. To put it bluntly, for example, Raobai of the Red Dragon sect could leave his name on the true martial list. Even if he was a true martial realm cultivator, in the eyes of others, he was more important than an ordinary spirit martial realm cultivator. This was because those who could be on the list represented absolute strength and foundation. The true martial realm was just a starting point. In the future, breaking through to the spirit martial realm was a 100% thing. The probability of breaking through to the god martial realm was also very high. As for the celestial realm, there was also a slight chance. Looking at the Heavenly Dipper Stone tablet in front of him, Ningbo walked in front of the stone tablet, pressed his palm on it for a little, and then retracted his palm and took a step back. A clear palm print. It was left on the stone tablet. Seeing this, the disciple's pupil shrank, and then he looked at Nyingbo with a little more politeness in his eyes. "Sir, please wait for a moment. I will go and pass on the message." After that, he turned and left, leaving the other disciple standing there. To be able to leave such a clear palm print on the heavenly dipper stone tablet, his strength was extraordinary. At least, he was also an expert in the physical invulnerability realm. This was because, as the name implied, only physical energy could leave a mark on the heavenly dipper stone tablet. An inner invulnerability realm cultivator could leave a mark on the heavenly dipper stone tablet. An outer invulnerability realm cultivator could leave an indelible mark on it. Nyingbo was obviously the latter. In the Qinyuan sacred ground, Qin Shujian suddenly felt something and took out the heaven list. Soon, he found Nyingbo's name on the list. 75 on the true martial list. Not bad. Looking at the name on the list, he had a faint smile on his face. 75 in the true martial realm was nothing. Not to mention the true martial list, Qin Shujian didn't even take the first place on the Xinwu list or the other experts on the celestial list seriously. But there was one thing to know. Nyingbo's current cultivation was only at the 4th level of the true martial realm, and the cultivators who could be on the list were the strongest in the true martial realm. As a result, challenging the 10th level of the true martial realm at the 4th level of the true martial realm was much more valuable. It could be said, in terms of true strength, even an ordinary spirit god realm cultivator might not be a match for the cultivators on the true martial list. Qin Shujian glanced at Nyingbo's information and then took back the heaven list. He is now using the Guiyuan Ancestral Codex to build his foundation. Although his strength is not bad, he should be a little weak if he wants to compete with the cultivators on the true martial list. If that's the case, the key to his victory lies in that sword technique. He had personally seen Nyingbo's sword technique. In the true martial realm, its power was indeed peerless. If he had been in the true martial realm, he might not have been able to resist that sword technique. Not to mention, that swordsmanship was executed with the help of a high-grade spirit weapon, and its power was several levels higher than before. He temporarily put aside the matter of Nyingbo. Qin Shujian calmed his mind and once again entered the mother stream. Starting from the destruction of the Eldar, he rarely left the eastern continent, or rather, rarely left the Qinyuan sacred ground. All the time, Qin Shujian used it to comprehend the laws of heaven and earth. Now, his comprehension of the laws had reached the 9th level of the celestial being realm. After that, it would be the 10th level of the celestial being realm, the nirvana realm, and the true immortal realm. It was just as Godslayer said. As long as his control of the laws reached a certain level, he could enter the long river of laws with his true body, then break through the limits of his original realm and directly become a true immortal. With my current physical strength, even if I experience the erosion of the laws and transform into a true immortal, there will be no problem. It's just that if I achieve the Tao this way, my strength won't be as strong as if I improve step by step. In other words, my control of the laws should be stuck between the true immortal realm and the celestial being realm. Even if I don't break through, I won't be too weak. Looking at the long river of laws flowing around him, Qin Shujian's eyes flickered. The situation of the human race. He had to clearly calculate how to use every bit of his strength in order to make the most of it. For the current situation, Qin Shujian knew that the most appropriate thing for him to do was to improve his foundation and then accumulate enough life force to improve his cultivation step by step. In this way, his strength could then be improved to a limit. However, although it was good to improve his life force, there was also a limit. There was no way to obtain too much life force in a short period of time, unless he destroyed the race regardless of the consequences. But this matter, it was not something that could be done just because he said so. Therefore, Qin Shujian wanted to take advantage of this period of time to strengthen his understanding of the laws while accumulating enough life force. When the situation was really urgent, he could directly enter the state of Tao attainment. So now, for me, I have to make two preparations. First, I have to accumulate enough life force to improve my strength. As long as my realm is above the 7th level of the celestial being realm, I should not be afraid of a first-level true immortal. Second, It's best if my understanding of the laws is on the verge of Tao attainment. As long as I want to, I can become an immortal at any time. Qin Shujian walked in the mother stream of laws and had this thought in his mind. Unless it was a last resort, the second plan could not be implemented at any time. Once he did that, his strength would be greatly improved in a short period of time. However, if he wanted to improve in the future, it would be much more difficult. The best way to do it was to lay down the foundation of the celestial being realm before becoming a true immortal. When the time came, his strength would definitely increase by leaps and bounds. Not long after, a familiar feeling surged in his heart. Qin Shujian looked at the long river of laws in front of him and stepped into it with a single step. Buzz. Once again, he entered the power law. In Qin Shujian's eyes, the omnipresent pressure was nothing. The shadows that appeared along the way, they could not stop his footsteps at all. Any cultivator that appeared was destroyed with a wave of his hand. How long was the long river of laws? From the outside, it looked very ugly to the end, because any law actually existed between heaven and earth and was enough to penetrate the universe. If heaven and earth were to be treated as a cultivator, then all the laws were controlled by the other party. Therefore, under the control of heaven and earth, any law could penetrate the universe. But under the control of a cultivator, it was equivalent to stripping the law from the hands of heaven and earth. Then the strength of the law was determined by the cultivator. However, right now, the power law had not been mastered by anyone. It was still one of the laws in the hands of heaven and earth. Therefore, no one could see the end. But when one entered the power law, Qin Shujian came to a realization in his heart. The power law was not endless, but tens of thousands of miles long. Because the powerhouses who once grasped the law of strength only opened up the law of strength to this length. Anyone who cultivates the law of strength who enters this place can only see this length of the law of strength. Once they reach this limit, they will be able to control the entire law. If they want to become stronger, they will need to continue to open up their own path at the end of the long river of laws. These things were said by Godslayer. Qin Shujian also remembered it in his heart. In the past, there was still a long way to go for him to become an immortal. But for him now, becoming an immortal, it was not that far away. It could be as long as a few decades, or as short as a few years. Everything depended on his own choice and his comprehension of the rules. Walking in the long river of laws, Qin Shujian encountered many opponents. When he fought with those powerhouses, a question gradually arose in his heart. What was power? What was the meaning of the power law? Qin Shujian had questions in his heart. The phantoms he encountered were also getting stronger and stronger. The oppression that emerged from the long river of laws also became terrifying. His body felt as if it was sinking into a quagmire. With every step he took, he was under great pressure. But under the oppression of this power, Qin Shujian instinctively used the strength of his physical body to resist. Gradually, he looked at the river in front of him that fluctuated from time to time, and some enlightenment surged in his heart. Power is the root. Power is the root. Power is something that everyone, including the living beings of heaven and earth, cannot lack. Qin Shujian's comprehension of the power law was getting more and more. The surrounding pressure, it was also unknowingly alleviating. After an unknown period of time, Qin Shujian looked at the surging river in front of him, which had already transformed into a powerhouse's phantom. He suddenly smiled. Power is the foundation of survival for me. There are thousands of martial arts in the world and thousands of infinite changes, but I only cultivate one. So, the path I take is to break all laws with strength. His thoughts were clear. Qin Shujian blasted out a punch. It was obviously a simple punch, but at this moment, it seemed to have touched some kind of true essence. The phantom of the powerhouse that had just condensed did not even have time to struggle. Like a bubble, it turned into ashes under the punch. At this moment, the pressure of the power law was suddenly reduced, and Qin Shujian's speed of advancement was also faster. Not long after, a familiar figure appeared in front of him again. Ancient Buddha Emperor. Qin Shujian looked at the stone man in front of him. He knew. This was just a mark left by the ancient Buddha Emperor in the power law. It was not his real body. He had entered the power law countless times. Qin Shujian had only met the ancient Buddha Emperor twice. The first time, he borrowed the power of law of the myriad clan's immortal leaderboard and forced his way into the power law. In the end, he was attacked by the ancient Buddha Emperor. The second time, it was now. The appearance of the ancient Buddha Emperor did not stop Qin Shujian. As he took a step forward, he had already blasted out a punch. The next moment, he had already engaged in a fierce battle with the Stone Man. In just a moment, the phantom of the ancient Buddha Emperor was forcibly torn apart by Qin Shujian. And when the phantom was destroyed, inside the ancient Buddha's secret realm, the ancient Buddha Emperor felt something. The next moment, he separated a trace of divine consciousness and entered the long river of laws. Chapter 642. The Long River of Rules. Qin Shujian had just destroyed the ancient Buddha Emperor's shadow. Immediately after, he saw the long river of rules surging, and a person suddenly appeared. Ancient Buddha Emperor. Seeing the person who came, Qin Shujian's eyes had some killing intent. Similarly, after the ancient Buddha Emperor saw Qin Shujian, there was also a strong killing intent in his eyes, and his mind became wary at the same time. Although he had been in seclusion, he hoped to break through to the true immortal realm. But it was not that he did not know anything about Qin Shujian's actions, especially the news that the other party had destroyed the Eldar. The ancient Buddha Emperor also received it. It was just that he did not pay much attention to the battle with the Heavenly Saint and other Demon Clan experts. This matter, the Demon Clan would not spread it. Qin Shujian was too lazy to spread it around. Although some news spread out, the people who knew this news definitely did not include the ancient Buddha Emperor. Therefore, understanding Qin Shujian, the ancient Buddha Emperor was still stuck at the time when the other party had destroyed the Eldar. But even so, Qin Shujian's strength still made him wary. I didn't expect you to be able to reach this point. After a short silence, the ancient Buddha Emperor took the lead to speak, breaking the deadlock. Last time, Qin Shujian had triggered his power imprint in the long river of the power of laws. But when he fought with the other party, obviously, he did not have a deep understanding of the rules of power. But this time was different. In the eyes of the ancient Buddha Emperor, Qin Shujian had already faintly merged with the rules of power. This kind of change, it could only mean that Qin Shujian's understanding of the rules of power had reached an extremely high level. Hearing this, Qin Shujian said, "Ancient Buddha Emperor, do you think Bin Huang is one step ahead of you, or you are one step ahead of Bin Huang? It doesn't matter who is first. In the end, only Bin Huang is successful." The ancient Buddha Emperor said in a low voice, "It is impossible for the human race to give birth to a true immortal, and the other races will not allow the human race to give birth to a true immortal. If Emperor Qin were to attain the Tao, he would be seeking his own death. Therefore, the one who would attain the Tao through the rules of strength would only be Bin Huang. If it was in the past, the ancient Buddha Emperor would confidently say that he would achieve Tao before Qin Shujian. However, now, he didn't dare to say it, because Qin Shujian's progress was too fast, compared to the last time. This time, his opponent had made a qualitative leap in the power of the laws of strength. Perhaps we'll meet again next time. Perhaps his comprehension of the laws of power had already surpassed his own. This matter. Although the ancient Buddha Emperor was unwilling to admit it, he knew it was possible. Bin Huang doesn't know if the human race can give birth to true immortals, but Bin Huang can tell you with certainty that if you succeed, you will fail. Qin Shujian sneered. His eyes were filled with killing intent. I wonder how many true immortals your ancient Buddha clan has sealed. If you have any, it's best not to waste them. Arrogant. The ancient Buddha Emperor's face was sullen, but he immediately calmed down. The vital essence under his feet condensed into a golden lotus platform. The next moment, the lotus platform bloomed with brilliant light. The terrifying power suppressed the long river of laws and made it tremble. Subsequently, his right hand formed a flower-pinching gesture. The last seal condensed and a swastika was slowly pushed out. As soon as the swastika came out, Endless golden light appeared. Oh, you really think you are Buddha? Qin Shujian smiled disdainfully. Immediately, he took a step forward. His vital essence turned into a lotus and bloomed. His palm slashed down diagonally. Like a divine weapon that could split heaven and earth, it destroyed the endless void between heaven and earth. Vital essence exploded. The swastika symbol was directly destroyed by this force. Subsequently, a saber light landed heavily on the golden lotus platform. Rumble. The golden light shattered, and cracks began to appear on the solid lotus throne. The ancient Buddha emperor's face changed. What kind of technique is this? Human emperor immortal slaying technique? Immortal slaying. How arrogant. The ancient Buddha emperor was so angry that he laughed. The lotus platform under his feet shattered. A sacred power emerged from his body, and he punched out. Qin Shujian did not dodge. He also punched out. It looked like a simple punch. In fact, it had twisted all the power in his body and gathered it on the knuckles of his fist. Bang! The two fists collided. Terrifying power poured out. The ancient Buddha emperor's fist suddenly cracked. Blood seemed to flow out. But soon, light flashed and the wound healed. Although the wound had healed, the shock in his heart could not be calmed down for a long time. Compared to the last time they fought, this time, Qin Shujian's strength had become even more terrifying. Before the ancient Buddha emperor could be shocked, Qin Shujian's attack once again approached him. A vast aura swept out, causing the ancient Buddha clan's sovereign's expression to change again. Boom, boom. In the long river of laws, the battle had already broken out. Whether it was the ancient Buddha emperor or Qin Shujian, they did not enter the long river of laws with their real bodies. After all, they had not reached the step of Tao. No one could break this limit. So, both of them only separated a wisp of divine consciousness to fight in the long river of laws. But one had to know. The divine consciousness was closely connected to the body. Whenever the power of the divine consciousness was severely depleted, the power of the body would be fed back. Strictly speaking, there was no difference between the two of them fighting with their real bodies. Bang! The ancient Buddha emperor's body cracked, and he was sent flying by the fist. Ancient Buddha emperor, your strength is only... Qin Shujian smiled proudly. His fist aura was shocking, and it came down again. The ancient Buddha emperor could not be bothered to speak. In the face of such an attack, he could only concentrate on blocking it. Boom! Another terrifying burst of energy erupted. His already cracked body showed signs of completely shattering. Soon, the power of the body was replenished. It gave the ancient Buddha emperor a chance to breathe. Impossible! How did your strength become so strong? He looked at Qin Shujian in disbelief. How could it be? How could the other party become so strong? During the battle at the mother stream of laws, although Qin Shujian could fight with him, there was still a certain gap. If the battle dragged on, he would definitely be able to kill the other party. But now, the ancient Buddha emperor found that he was completely crushed by Qin Shujian. Such an unforeseen event. He couldn't react at all. How long had it been? At most, it had only been a few months. When one reached their level, one would be able to see a few months' time was simply a snap of the fingers. Not to mention a few months. Even if it was a few years, it was difficult to make any progress. Only in the past decades or centuries, there was hope to take a step forward on the original foundation. Just like Qin Shujian, the ancient Buddha emperor had never seen such a huge transformation in just a few months. It was just that, no matter what the ancient Buddha emperor thought, he couldn't turn the situation around. Boom! A terrifying attack erupted. The ancient Buddha emperor's stone-like body suddenly exploded. Instantly, in the long river of laws, the other party no longer existed. Qin Shujian retracted his hand and looked at the place where the ancient Buddha emperor disappeared. He sneered, I killed you once in the long river of laws. I can also kill you once in the real world. With me around, you still want to achieve Tao? Just wishful thinking. In this battle, he believed that he should be able to break the ancient Buddha emperor. In this way, when the time came for the human race to achieve Tao, the ancient Buddha race might not have a true immortal to take action. Because The ancient Buddha Emperor needed to leave a true immortal to help him when he achieved Tao. Or else, if he blocked the ancient Buddha Emperor when he achieved Tao, the ancient Buddha Emperor would definitely not be his opponent. As for the other forces, it was good enough that they didn't hit him when he was down. It was even more impossible to say that they would help the ancient Buddha Emperor. After getting rid of the ancient Buddha Emperor, this obstacle, Qin Shu Jian continued to walk deeper into the long river of laws. If he wanted to comprehend the rules, the power imprint of the past experts was just one of the insignificant obstacles. The real interception, it was in the rules themselves. The further he went, the stronger the pressure from the rules. If his comprehension of the rules was not enough, he couldn't transform this pressure into his own strength. Then, every step he took would be extremely difficult. After an unknown amount of time, Qin Shu Jian felt a little tired. He looked at the endless long river of laws in front of him and finally had to retreat. Ancient Buddha race. The ancient Buddha Emperor suddenly woke up. Then, pale golden blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. His tightly closed eyes opened. His eyes were full of shock. Defeated, he lost to Qin Shu Jian in the long river of laws. How could this be? How could his strength become so strong? Thinking of his encounter in the long river of laws, the ancient Buddha Emperor was a little distracted. This time, they were defeated. It was not as simple as just a defeat. It was even more clear. In the future, if he achieved Tao, Qin Shu Jian would block his path. The probability of him failing was almost 100%, unless there were other experts helping him, or else there was no second possibility. The ancient Buddha Emperor looked solemn. My race still has a sealed true immortal. When Benhuang achieves Tao, he will have a true immortal to protect him. No matter how strong Qin Shu Jian is, he can't compete with a true immortal. But in this way, my race's true immortal can't act rashly. Thinking of this, the ancient Buddha Emperor seemed to have thought of something. His face changed again. Qin Shu Jian couldn't have planned this long ago, could he? The human race should have an expert who achieves Tao. If it's not Qin Shu Jian, it's that Zhao Huang. His purpose of doing this is definitely not to achieve Tao. If that's the case, Qin Shu Jian's real purpose is Zhao Huang. In an instant, the ancient Buddha Emperor figured out a lot of things. Normally speaking, even if Qin Shu Jian was stronger than him, he wouldn't expose it so easily. It would be better to wait until he or the other party achieved Tao before revealing it. But Qin Shu Jian just had to expose his strength when they encountered the long river of laws. In this way, the ancient Buddha Emperor couldn't help but think of the connection between these two things. There was only one purpose for the other party to do this: to make him afraid, to make the ancient Buddha race's true immortals unable to act rashly. In this case, Zhao Huang should be about to achieve Tao. This is a desperate fight for the human race. Qin Shu Jian has been wandering around the various races during this time in order to rope in enough strong reinforcements for Zhao Huang. It seems that in order to help Zhao Huang achieve Tao, he has put in a lot of effort. The ancient Buddha Emperor's eyes were cold. This was an open conspiracy, but it had to be said that this open conspiracy was indeed very useful. At least, he really didn't dare to casually consume the true immortals of his race now, because when he achieved Tao, he still had to deal with Qin Shu Jian's obstruction. If I could kill him first, there wouldn't be this problem. What a pity. The ancient Buddha Emperor shook his head helplessly. What a pity. With Qin Shu Jian's current strength, it was almost impossible to kill him, unless a true immortal took action. That was the only possibility. The reason for that was because the true immortal that was sealed was not a true immortal at his peak. Not to mention that his strength was severely weakened. There was also the obstruction of the lightning tribulation. There was no possibility of a long battle at all. With Qin Shu Jian's strength that could easily suppress him, and with Zhu Bing in his hands, in terms of strength, he might not be much weaker than those sealed true immortals. Thinking of this, the ancient Buddha Emperor sighed. I didn't pay attention for a while and let him grow to this extent. If I'm not wrong, Qin Shu Jian should be the reincarnation of a true immortal, and he's not an ordinary reincarnation of a true immortal. Otherwise, his strength wouldn't have improved so quickly. In his heart, he had already determined this matter. However, although there weren't many true immortals in the history of heaven and earth, there were still many. Just the true immortals that had been born in the human race. There were no less than 3 digits. In this way, it wasn't easy to deduce Qin Shujian's origin. However, in the ancient Buddha emperor's view, there was no need to deduce Qin Shujian's origin. The fact was already so. Asking for the root of the matter wouldn't change anything. Suppressing the distracting thoughts in his heart, the ancient Buddha emperor entered seclusion again. This time, he was killed by Qin Shujian in the long river of laws, and he also suffered a serious injury. If he didn't recover, the Tao attainment ceremony would be a big problem. In the outside world, in the territory of the ancient Buddha clan, blood clouds covered the sky. The evil and murderous aura once again swept through heaven and earth. Looking at the blood clouds in the sky, the cultivators in the cities of the ancient Buddha clan raised their heads. Their eyes were filled with helplessness and uncontrollable fear. He's here. He's here again. Some cultivators who had stayed in the territory of the ancient Buddha clan for a long time recalled the previous tragic killings. Even those cultivators who hadn't experienced the blood clouds massacre. When they saw the blood clouds appear, in an instant, they remembered a name that made people tremble in fear. The blood demon is here. Quickly enter the ancient Buddha clan's array. At this time, a golden light shield rose in all the cities. Through the light shield, the cultivators in the cities could also see the scene outside. The blood demon, that was a title given by the other cultivators. The other party's real name was Sihan Hai. Rumor had it that he was an expert from the human clan. The blood demon had been wreaking havoc in the northern continent. Many clans had suffered from the blood demon's attacks. Among them, the number of experts who had fallen was not small. More importantly, wherever the blood demon passed, heaven and earth would descend. The creatures under the blood clouds were bewitched, and then they would enter an endless and indiscriminate slaughter. It was also because of this. Wherever the blood demon appeared, the people would be plunged into misery and suffering. Countless cultivators would fall. So, the blood demon's great name spread. The blood clouds covered the sky. One cultivator after another walked out. Each of them had a brutal and murderous aura, and their eyes had turned a strange crimson color. The aura emitted by each cultivator was not weaker than a heavenly being. When these cultivators appeared, they all simultaneously bowed to the side and saluted. The blood clouds twisted violently. The last person walked out. There was a faint smile on his handsome face, and his calm eyes were deep crimson. "Go. Kill to your heart's content," Sihan Hai said with a wave of his hand, revealing a strange smile. The experts in the crimson cloud charged towards the city below without saying a word. At the same time, in the ancient Buddha secret realm, many terrifying auras rose. Soon, an almighty walked out of the secret realm and looked at Sihan Hai in the sky, his eyes full of murderous intent. "Sihan Hai, you're courting death. How many times had it been?" This blood demon seemed to have targeted the ancient Buddha clan. Every few days, he would come to cause trouble. Because of this, several experts of the ancient Buddha clan had fallen. In this way, the ancient Buddha clan was even angrier at Sihan Hai. At this moment, when the experts of the devil clan attacked, the almighty experts of the ancient Buddha clan also attacked, intercepting all the experts. A great battle broke out in an instant. Sihan Hai looked at the ancient Buddha clan expert with his hands behind his back and said with a sinister smile, "I see that you have some wisdom. Why don't you join the demon clan? I'll let you have a real body of flesh and blood. I'll also let you experience the beauty of the 7 emotions and 6 desires." "How dare you?" The ancient Buddha clan expert was furious. Then, he brazenly attacked. He pushed his palm forward, and the energy palm instantly crushed the void, trying to break the blood clouds that covered the sky and enveloped Sihan Hai. Rumble. The blood clouds surged wildly. Blood lotuses were born one after another, and then they blocked the energy palm. Each blood lotus was destroyed. The energy palm was dyed with a touch of faint red. Before it completely touched Sihan Hai, the energy palm had already shattered more than 100 blood lotuses. The originally pale golden energy was completely covered by the blood-red color, and then it dissipated inch by inch. Si-Han-hai did not move. He looked at the ancient Buddha clan expert, whose expression changed drastically, and the evil aura in his eyes became more obvious. Your strength can't do anything to me. Why don't you surrender? As soon as his voice fell, Si-Han-hai waved his hand, and a blood-red energy shot out. A terrifying claw stretched out from the blood clouds and grabbed at the ancient Buddha clan expert. At the same time, an earth-shattering killing intent was born from heaven and earth, and then it bombarded the ancient Buddha clan expert's body. In an instant, the killing intent hit the spirit god, causing the ancient Buddha clan expert to fall into a short daze. It was as if he felt threatened. A golden light automatically appeared on his body, trying to resist the incoming danger. However, in front of the blood claw, the golden light was like paper and was easily torn apart. Just as it was about to be touched, the ancient Buddha clan expert woke up. When he saw the blood claw, which was already in front of his face, his expression changed drastically. Without thinking, he blasted out a palm. Boom! The two collided, and a terrifying force shattered the void. The ancient Buddha clan expert's body trembled, and then he was shaken by the force and fell from the void. Who dares to act presumptuously in my ancient Buddha clan? A majestic voice came from the secret realm. Then, a finger shattered the void and directly bombarded the blood claw. A terrifying force erupted and instantly tore the blood claw apart. It didn't stop there. That force even pierced through the blood clouds that covered the sky. However, as soon as the blood cloud was pierced through, more power surged in and repaired the hole. At this moment, a stone man walked out of the ancient Buddha secret realm. There was a golden lotus platform under his feet. Extremely dense golden light emitted. As the stone man walked out, the blood clouds in the sky were also dispersed by the golden light. Not long after, only half of the blood clouds in the sky were left. The remaining half, it was completely occupied by the golden light. Ancient Buddha Emperor. Seeing the person, Si-Han-hai's face turned serious, but the evil in his eyes became more obvious. It was different from the previous 2 times when the ancient Buddha Emperor attacked. He immediately turned around and left. This time, even when the ancient Buddha Emperor appeared, Si-Han-hai didn't intend to leave. The ancient Buddha Emperor's voice was cold. You're very brave. You dare to face Bin Huang. In his words, it was full of biting cold killing intent. It was the 3rd time. Every time Si-Han-hai appeared, it was when he was injured. For this, the ancient Buddha Emperor couldn't help but wonder if the other party had premeditated, or if he had some way to know that he was injured. Or else, how could he come so timely every time? However, he had just suffered a loss in the long river of rules. The ancient Buddha Emperor's heart was also very angry. At this time, Si-Han-hai bumped into him, and it immediately ignited the killing intent in his heart. Seeing Si-Han-hai, the ancient Buddha Emperor seemed to see the former Qin Shujian. It disgusted him the same. He also grew rapidly. Compared to the previous 2 meetings, although the ancient Buddha Emperor hadn't officially fought with Si-Han-hai, he could see that the other party's strength had improved a lot. However, with the other party's strength, even if the other party improved, it was impossible to be his opponent. On the other side, Si-Han-hai laughed. I've heard of the ancient Buddha Emperor's name for a long time. Why don't you join my demon clan? With the 2 of us working together, no one in the northern continent can stop us. You already have a deep demon root, and it's difficult to convert. In this case, Bin Huang can only eliminate the demon. The ancient Buddha Emperor said calmly. The next moment, all of a sudden, the void exploded. Si-Han-hai retreated. His body seemed to have suffered a terrible attack, and it suddenly cracked. But soon, then, a mysterious power emerged and repaired his damaged body. The strength of a Nirvana Realm expert is really not bad. Si-Han-hai's scarlet eyes were gradually replaced by madness and killing intent. In the battle just now, he was defeated by the ancient Buddha Emperor. However, such a failure didn't make Si-Han-hai retreat. Instead, it really aroused the madness in his heart. Boom! Blood-colored vital essence exploded. The long river of rules broke through the air, and blood lotuses emerged from it. The lotus platform under the ancient Buddha Emperor shone brightly, and all the blood lotuses were offset. The next second, he had already punched out. The aura was like an avalanche, suppressing heaven and earth, and the sky trembled. Rumble. The two of them clashed against each other in an instant. Their terrifying power shattered the void. The aftermath spread out. Thousands of miles of the void turned into turbulence. Not long after, Si Hanhai fell from the void, his body broken and stained with blood. But soon, the blood cloud surged, and his injuries were completely healed. Then, he charged at the ancient Buddha Emperor again. Boom, boom, boom. Soon, Si Hanhai's body was smashed by the ancient Buddha Emperor, but the next moment, another Si Hanhai walked out of the blood clouds. As long as the blood clouds are not destroyed, I will not die. How many times can you kill me? Si Hanhai's scarlet eyes stared at the ancient Buddha Emperor. Then, he charged at him again. Seeing this, the ancient Buddha Emperor frowned. In terms of strength, Si Hanhai wasn't very strong. At most, he was at the 8th or 9th level of the celestial being realm. But, in terms of the degree of difficulty, he was much stronger than the Emperor, especially the other party's seemingly immortal ability, which was even more troublesome. There is no one who is truly immortal in this world. Since you said the blood clouds are not destroyed, then Ben Huang will evaporate your blood clouds today. Let's see if you can come back to life. The ancient Buddha Emperor's face was cold. With a palm print, the swastika symbol shattered the void. A golden lotus rose from his body, and soon, it bloomed in the sky. One could only see the vast golden lotus in full bloom. Endless golden light spread out from it, dispersing all the blood clouds that it touched. In just a moment, 4/5 of the blood clouds were consumed. Seeing this, Si Hanhai didn't panic at all. He didn't make any moves, but the murderous aura between heaven and earth surged. The consumed blood clouds were recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye, and the golden light above the golden lotus was gradually eroded by the power of the blood clouds. Seeing this, the ancient Buddha Emperor's face didn't change. Another palm strike was launched. This palm strike, it directly blasted Si Hanhai's body. The terrifying power didn't stop there, and it created an indelible big hole in the blood clouds. As expected, the moment his body exploded, another Si Hanhai walked out of the blood clouds. The ancient Buddha Emperor took a step forward. He had already arrived in front of Si Hanhai. With a punch, he killed Si Hanhai again. Then, without waiting for the blood clouds to give birth to a new Si Hanhai, he took the lead and entered the blood clouds. Rumble. The blood clouds shook crazily. There seemed to be a terrible battle happening inside. From time to time, golden light would break the blood clouds, revealing the scene inside. After an unknown amount of time, a golden lotus bloomed directly inside the blood clouds. All the blood clouds touched by the golden lotus melted like snow under the scorching sun. The ancient Buddha Emperor stepped on the golden lotus. The long river of laws rushed over. Looking at the blood clouds in front of him that were driven by healing, he violently punched out again. Instantly, the blood clouds of 100,000 miles were directly pierced through by this punch. Si Hanhai fell from it, with a faint trace of blood at the corner of his mouth. The madness in his scarlet eyes faded a little. The ancient Buddha Emperor's strength is amazing. Today, I've experienced it. If there's a chance in the future, you and I will fight again. After that, the blood clouds disappeared. Si Hanhai directly escaped into the void. At the same time, the demon clan cultivators who were fighting with the ancient Buddha clan experts also retreated at the same time. Seeing this, the ancient Buddha Emperor didn't chase after them. Instead, he attacked and killed all the remaining demon clan cultivators. After taking a deep look in the direction Si Hanhai left, he had returned to the ancient Buddha's secret realm. In the main hall, the almighty figures of the ancient Buddha clan gathered. The ancient Buddha Emperor looked at the crowd and said calmly, "How are the losses from the demon clan's attack this time?" "We lost 3 celestials. As for the casualties below the celestial realm, "We're still counting for the time being," an elder of the ancient Buddha clan said with cupped hands. Compared to the previous 2 casualties, this time, the ancient Buddha clan's losses could be said to be much less. After the battle, only 3 celestials had fallen. As for the cultivators below the celestial realm, as long as not too many died, it didn't matter. In comparison, the demon clan brought more than a dozen celestial realm experts this time, including many almighty cultivators, but they all fell in their hands. When it came to losses, the demon clan's losses were even greater. The ancient Buddha emperor said in a deep voice, "The demon clan was born at the time. As the current demon lord, Si Hanhai's strength has grown extremely fast. Moreover, his methods are strange. Although he's only at the 8th celestial realm, it's not that easy to kill him, even for a nirvana realm expert. If an ordinary celestial realm expert is entangled with him, there's even a possibility of him being killed." It was such a strange method. The ancient Buddha emperor was also afraid. He was not afraid of powerful enemies, but he was afraid of enemies like Si Hanhai, who were difficult to kill completely. Moreover, this enemy's growth was still very fast. Compared to the previous few times, Si Hanhai's strength was getting stronger day by day. Of course, compared to the speed of Qin Huang of the human clan, this speed was still much slower. But even so, it also proved Si Hanhai's infinite potential. Regarding this, the ancient Buddha emperor also had a trace of urgency in his heart. Now that the enemy's strength was getting stronger and stronger, the Nirvana realm experts could still stabilize the situation for the time being, but they could no longer play a decisive role. Only by attaining the Tao and becoming immortal could the current stalemate of the ancient Buddha clan be broken. The demon clan has developed more than a dozen celestial realm experts in a short time. They were the original experts of the various clans, but they were corrupted by the blood demon and fell into the demon clan. Now, the blood demon has attacked the ancient Buddha clan many times. From this, it can be seen that our 2 clans are in a situation where either one of us dies. The ancient Buddha emperor looked at the crowd and said in a deep voice, "Therefore, pass down the order of Ben Huang. Contact the other forces that have been attacked by the blood demon and locate the location of the blood demon. Before his wings are fully developed, kill him to prevent future troubles. Otherwise, in the future, when the blood demon is fully developed, there won't be many forces in the 4 great continents that can suppress him." "We obey my emperor's order." The elders of the ancient Buddha clan bowed and accepted the order. The threat to Si Hanhai, they were also very clear about it, especially when the enemy's strength was getting stronger and stronger, and he had more and more people under his command. Naturally, the threat would become greater. In addition, reinforce the formations in each city. It's best to set up a complete formation in the territory of the ancient Buddha clan to guard against the next attack of the blood demon. The ancient Buddha emperor gave another order. Si Hanhai came and went without a trace. If he wanted to hunt him down, it would not be an easy thing to do. For the time being, unless the ancient Buddha clan really wanted to fight to the death with Si Hanhai, they could only passively defend for the time being. There was no other way. Si Hanhai's strength was average, but he had too many strange methods. If the other party insisted on leaving, the ancient Buddha emperor himself was not confident that he could stop him, unless he had to mobilize the true immortal sealed by the ancient Buddha emperor. But to mobilize a true immortal for a mere 8th-tier celestial human cultivator was undoubtedly an extremely wasteful thing. In the end, there were not many true immortals left in the ancient Buddha clan. In the ancient Buddha emperor's eyes, these true immortals were his Tao protectors in the future. After all the elders left, the ancient Buddha emperor got up and went to a deep valley. This was the deepest part of the ancient Buddha's secret realm. The sky above the valley was covered by black clouds, and the rich spirit qi in the ancient Buddha secret realm could not penetrate it all. As the ancient Buddha emperor walked into the valley, the surroundings were deathly silent, and everywhere was filled with the aura of decay and decay. The earth was dead. The trees were dead. The mountains were also dead. Even the entire valley was dead. There was no sign of life. And in the deepest part of the valley, there were 3 black stone men standing tall. "Why did my emperor come here?" An ethereal voice came from one of the stone golems. The ancient Buddha emperor bowed slightly as a salute. Then, he looked at the black stone man and said in a deep voice, "Ben Huang came here to ask about one thing. If a true immortal is holding Zhu Bing and the 8-seal Dao artifact, can he be killed?" Silence, dead silence. After a long time, a dead voice came from the black stone man. "Two true immortals unsealed can kill him." Hearing this, the ancient Buddha emperor said in a deep voice, "Ben Huang understands." After that, he turned and left. Two true immortals unsealed to kill Qin Shujian. Such a price was not in line with the ancient Buddha clan's interests. The 3 stone men in the valley were the true immortals sealed by the ancient Buddha clan for generations. They were also the ancient Buddha clan's last trump card. 3 true immortals. They had to be used at the most critical moment. Although Qin Shujian was a stumbling block on his path, the ancient Buddha emperor was unwilling to pay the price of 2 true immortals. Originally, he planned to find an opportunity to kill Qin Shujian in advance. But now, it was impossible. Walking out of the valley, the ancient Buddha emperor's body had a decaying and deathly aura. Then, under the cleansing of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, only then did the decaying aura completely disappear. "I'll let you live a little longer for the time being. The time to kill you is on the path to success. After all, only Ben Huang can control the rules of power." The ancient Buddha emperor's eyes were cold. He took a deep look at the black clouds in front of him. He took a step forward and disappeared on the spot. Because of Si Hanhai's disturbance, the ancient Buddha emperor had to fight before he recovered from his injuries. Now, he had entered the valley again. His body was attacked by the deathly silent power, and his injuries worsened. Until now, the ancient Buddha emperor had to recover from his injuries and then find an opportunity to break through to the true immortal realm. Eastern Continent, Qian Yuan Realm. After the battle with the ancient Buddha emperor in the long river of laws, another month had passed. In this month's time, Qin Shujian had been sitting in his small courtyard, silently comprehending the rules of power. Since the last time he met the ancient Buddha emperor, in the following period of time, he had destroyed the ancient Buddha emperor's power shadow many times. Unfortunately, the ancient Buddha emperor no longer split his consciousness into the long river of laws. Qin Shujian guessed. The ancient Buddha emperor should be afraid of him. At this time, even if he knew that he was in the long river of laws, he would not dare to show himself again. After a short recovery, Qin Shujian was ready to enter the long river of laws again to comprehend the rules of power. Now, as time passed, a faint sense of urgency rose in his heart, forcing him to think of ways to improve his strength. But just as Qin Shujian was about to enter the long river of laws, he paused. He took out the heaven list from his sea of consciousness. The destiny of the human clan was faintly fluctuating on it. P.S. Just finished writing, ready to sleep. Chapter 643. The human clan's fate shook. Qin Shujian's expression suddenly changed. "Oh no, Emperor Zhao is about to achieve Dao at this time." F***CK. It was impossible for him to achieve Dao at this time, because it was too fast. He thought that even if Emperor Zhao achieved Dao, it would still take 1 or 2 years after the establishment of the Qinyuan sacred ground. But now, let alone 1 or 2 years. In less than half a year, Emperor Zhao was about to achieve Dao. Thinking of this, Qin Shujian couldn't sit still anymore. His divine consciousness fell on the heaven list, and the human clan's fate shook again. The long river of fate was hidden. It was not visible to ordinary people under special circumstances. His divine consciousness split. Qin Shujian swam along the long river of fate. It didn't take long for him to arrive at Zhongzhou Prefecture. Then, he quietly entered the imperial city. In an underground secret room, Emperor Zhao suddenly opened his eyes and saw the human clan's fate shaking. Qin Shujian had already appeared in front of him. "Why are you here at this time?" He looked a little puzzled. He wasn't puzzled about why Qin Shujian would appear here. After he became the human emperor, he could go wherever the human clan was. What Emperor Zhao was really puzzled about, why did Qin Shujian come? Looking at Emperor Zhao in front of him, he felt a faint pressure. On his physical body, there was a faint surge of Taoist rhyme, and even the phantom of the long river of laws was shaking. There were all kinds of strange phenomena. They were all showing how extraordinary Emperor Zhao was. Seeing this, Qin Shujian's expression was extremely solemn. He said in a deep voice, "Is Emperor Zhao about to achieve Tao?" "Yes." "May I ask how many years of life Emperor Zhao has left?" Hearing this, after a long while, Emperor Zhao slowly said, 3 years. Qin Shujian's heart trembled slightly. 3 years. He thought that Emperor Zhao still had 8 or 10 years left, but now he only had 3 years left. In other words, Emperor Zhao was already on the verge of death. If Emperor Zhao is delayed for a year, are you confident? Qin Shujian asked solemnly. Ben Huang's qi and blood will deteriorate again if he delays his Dao attainment by a year. At that time, his risk of attainment will increase greatly. Emperor Zhao was seriously considering Qin Shujian's words. Subsequently, he looked at the other and said in a low voice, Ben Huang needs a reason. Now, he had achieved the Dao. Furthermore, he achieved the Dao in a year. Emperor Zhao didn't think that anything could change in just 1 year. He could also understand. What would he face after attaining the Dao? In a year's time, Ben Huang's cultivation will have another breakthrough. When Empress Zhao achieves Dao, Ben Huang will be able to help her if she encounters any cultivators from other clans. Qin Shujian said seriously, as for the decline of qi and blood, Ben Huang will make the recovery pill. You don't have to worry about it, Zhao Emperor. Fortune pill. Emperor Zhao's expression changed slightly, and he said with a chuckle, the fate elixir was indeed made by Emperor Qin. It seems like the 2-path Grandmaster will have to be changed to the 3-path Grandmaster. He had already guessed it. The cultivation pill was refined by Qin Shujian. After all, the matter of the cultivation pill was not a secret. In Banqing, Feng Xinglan, and Xiao Hong of the Baiyun Marquis Mansion all broke through because of the cultivation pill. Emperor Zhao used to rule the world. How could he not know about it? But to be honest, he wasn't completely sure that Qin Shujian was the alchemy grandmaster who refined the cultivation pill. He once guessed that Qin Shujian had another alchemy grandmaster in his hands. But now it seemed that there were no other alchemy grandmasters at all. There were only Qin Shujian, the 3-path grandmaster. Subsequently, Emperor Zhao said, the cultivation pill is only a 9th level pill. Although it has the effect of reversing the congenital, it is not very useful for Ben Huang. He was a half-immortal. He was only 1 step away from becoming a genuine immortal. His qi and blood were terrifyingly strong. The 9th level pill was powerful, but it was not powerful enough to restore a half-immortal. Don't worry, Emperor Zhao. Since Ben Huang dares to say so, there must be no problem. You just need to wait for another year. Qin Shujian said with a confident smile. He didn't explain too much. Out of his trust in Qin Shujian, Emperor Zhao nodded slightly and said, since you said so, Ben Huang can delay his attainment for a year. A faint smile appeared on Qin Shujian's face. Then he stretched out his hand and grabbed something in the void. A heaven list fell from the fate of the human clan. Then, a stone ball appeared from the heaven list and fell into Qin Shujian's hand. Last time when I exchanged the fragments of the heavenly mirror, I promised to give you either the corpse of a flood dragon at the 9th level of the celestial being realm or the corpse of an emperor. Ling Huang's body was sealed in the stone ball. This time, I gave it to Emperor Zhao, which canceled out the deal between us. With that, Qin Shujian passed the stone ball to Emperor Zhao and said, don't worry, but Ben Huang took 3 drops of Ling Huang's blood essence from it. It was used to refine the cultivation pill, so it was not swallowed. He explained. Qin Shujian's divine will incarnation gradually disappeared, but before it completely disappeared, there was 1 sentence left. By the way, Ling Huang has broken through to the Nirvana realm. After that, Qin Shujian's figure was nowhere to be seen. Nirvana realm. Emperor Zhao held the stone ball in his hand, and his eyes flickered. He didn't expect it. Ling Huang was already a Nirvana realm expert. Then he thought, after Ling Huang broke through to the Nirvana realm, coupled with the Eldar's fate, his strength was no weaker than a demon emperor. Under such circumstances, he was still killed by Qin Shujian. Then the strength of the other party had probably reached a terrifying level. Everyone said that you have reached the half-immortal realm. Now it seems that it is true. Emperor Zhao muttered to himself. During this period of seclusion, he didn't pay attention to many things, except for the major events like the destruction of the Eldar. Other than that, the Zhao Emperor was not clear about anything else. His strength is already at the half-immortal realm. Then what realm is his current cultivation? The 6th or 7th level of the celestial realm? The so-called breakthrough. Which realm did he break through to? Thinking of Qin Shujian's realm, Emperor Zhao's expression became solemn. He was one of the few people who knew that Qin Shujian was originally only at the 5th level of the celestial realm. The 5th level of the celestial realm. He had the strength not weaker than an emperor. Now that he had reached the half-immortal realm, he must have made a breakthrough in his realm. But what level did Qin Shujian break through to? Emperor Zhao himself wasn't sure. The only thing he knew was that Qin Shujian definitely hadn't reached the half-immortal realm. And according to what the other party said, in the next year, he would make another breakthrough in his cultivation. It should only be a breakthrough in the celestial realm. Emperor Zhao sighed. Wen Huang is also very curious if you can really compete with a true immortal after breaking through. Will our human race have another expert who can defeat a true immortal with the body of a celestial realm? Based on his trust in Qin Shujian, he didn't have too many doubts. Emperor Zhao was basically certain that Qin Shujian's opportunity was definitely much greater than his. It might be the inheritance of the heavenly court. It might also be an ancient inheritance. But as for the specifics, Emperor Zhao wasn't sure. However, to him, any kind of inheritance was good. Just like how Qin Shujian never explored his own inheritance. He wouldn't deliberately explore the other party's inheritance. The Qinyuan realm. In the courtyard, Qin Shujian retracted his divine sense. When he looked at the heaven list again, although the human race was still unstable, it wasn't as shaken as before. 1 year should be enough. He recalled his conversation with the Zhao Emperor, and his expression kept changing. The current him, he was already at the 6th level of the celestial realm, the source of life. It had also reached the level of nearly 400 billion. Qin Shujian estimated for a moment. It wouldn't take long for him to break through to the 7th level of the celestial realm. Now, the source of life has increased from less than 3 billion to 12 billion a day. The rate of increase is increasing by 10 to 20 million every day. The main reason is because the Eldar mystic realm is broken, and the spirit Qi in the eastern continent has increased greatly. Qin Shujian thought to himself. His current goal was to break through to the 7th level of the celestial realm. Then, he would look at the time and see if there was a chance to break through to the 8th level of the celestial realm. Yes, the 8th level of the celestial realm. In the past, Qin Shujian didn't have such confidence. But now, looking at the speed of the source of life, he might have a chance to break through to the 8th level of the celestial realm in a year. However, he had to seriously consider whether to do so. Senior, how do perfected immortals improve their strength? What's the difference between perfected immortals in the lower and middle levels? Qin Shujian thought of the Godslayer in his sea of consciousness and asked. He had a hunch. The enemies that he would have to take seriously in the future were already celestial realm cultivators, but perfected immortals who had attained the Tao. As the saying went, only by knowing yourself and your enemy can you be victorious in every battle. It was necessary to know more about perfected immortals in advance. Godslayer said, the perfected immortal realm is the comprehension of the laws. Breaking through to the perfected immortal realm is to control the laws. But while controlling the laws, it doesn't mean that you can fully comprehend the true essence of the laws. It's like buying a house. Although you have the right to use the house, you don't understand the structure of the house and how it was built. After breaking through to the perfected immortal realm, what you need to do is to comprehend the true essence of the laws. For those who have just broken through to the perfected immortal realm, their comprehension of the laws is about 10%. With every 10% increase in comprehension, they can break through to the next level. The deeper their comprehension of the laws, the stronger their strength. After reaching a certain level, they can become the embodiment of the laws of heaven and earth and completely control the power of heaven and earth. In addition to the comprehension of the laws, there is another way to determine the strength of a perfected immortal, which is the size of the long river of laws. The longer and wider the long river of laws, the stronger the power contained in it. If a level 1 perfected immortal who has mastered powerful laws, he may not be a match for a level 2 perfected immortal who has mastered weak laws. After breaking through to the perfected immortal realm, one's realm is not the only way to determine one's strength. It also depends on what kind of laws the perfected immortal has mastered. Therefore, it is very difficult to determine the strength of each perfected immortal. Hearing this, Qin Shujian's understanding of perfected immortals deepened a little. In fact, no matter what level it was, realm was not the only way to determine one's strength. However, for cultivators of other realms, one could roughly estimate their strength just by looking at the other party's aura and the vigor of their qi and blood. But the perfected immortal realm was different. The long river of laws was hidden. If the other party didn't really use his full strength, no one could tell the depth of his strength. In other words, if one encountered some perfected immortals who were like oldine coins, they might even fail miserably. In that case, if I encounter a perfected immortal in the lower 3 levels, he might not be as simple as the lower 3 levels. His strength might be comparable to the middle 3 levels. How troublesome. Qin Shujian sighed. This was really troublesome. Not being able to figure out his strength was the biggest problem. However, he didn't dwell on such a matter for too long. After getting up and leaving the courtyard, Qin Shujian came to the human emperor's palace. In front of the human emperor's palace, many cultivators sat cross-legged there, silently comprehending the cultivation methods and martial arts on the 2 stone tablets. Although they only needed to take a look at the stone tablets, they would be able to obtain the memories of cultivation methods and martial arts from them. However, if they could comprehend the stone tablets for a long time, their cultivation of the universe Tao-seeking scripture and the human emperor's immortal slaying technique could also be sped up. And compared to the stone tablets in the outside world, the stone tablet in front of the human emperor's palace was the most complete. The universe Tao-seeking scripture and the human emperor's immortal slaying technique recorded in it were even at the divine realm. Qin Shujian's arrival. No one noticed. After taking a look at the stone tablets, he quietly entered the human emperor's palace. The power of faith on the stone tablets is even stronger. In another 100 years, the human clan might really produce 2 more Zhu Bing. Godslayer said with emotion. Zhu Bing, how could it be so easy to forge? The 2 stone tablets were able to become Zhu Bing because of luck. The universe Tao-seeking scripture and the human emperor's immortal slaying technique were both foundational cultivation methods and martial arts of the human clan. They were also destined to be the foundation of the human clan's future inheritance. As the stone tablets that carried these 2 cultivation methods and martial arts, they could naturally transform into supreme sacred objects. One had to know. The foundation was the only one. In other words, it was impossible for a cultivation method and martial arts that could replace the universe Tao-seeking scripture and the human emperor's immortal slaying technique to appear in the future. This was also the reason Godslayer was sure that in another 100 years, the human clan would be able to produce 2 more Zhu Bing. The true foundation of a race's inheritance and destiny will be more stable. If there was no threat of the great calamity of the demonic abyss, given thousands of years, the human clan would definitely be able to restore the glory of the ancient times. What's the use of restoring the glory of the ancient times? The ancient humans were so strong, but they were still defeated by the demonic abyss. Qin Shujian shook his head, somewhat disdainful of this. He had never wanted the human clan to stop at the ancient times. If they did not call themselves emperor, then so be it. Since he had already called himself emperor, then he would lead the human clan to become an existence that surpassed the ancient times. After all, to a certain extent, the ancient human race was nothing more than a failure. Or else, how could the human clan have declined to this extent? Hearing this, Godslayer said lightly, "It's good that Emperor Qin is ambitious, but the ancient humans are not as simple as you think. In terms of prosperity, the thousands of races in the world were not as powerful as the ancient humans." "You're mocking me here." Godslayer found that Qin Shujian was really arrogant recently. Yes, he admitted that the other party's talent and potential were very strong, and that he was destined to reach the peak in the future. But even if he reached the peak, there was a high probability that he was an expert at the level of the ancient human emperor or the emperor of heaven. As a result, how could he be qualified to look down on the ancient times? In response to Godslayer's rebuttal, Qin Shujian sneered and said, "I'll bet with you that in less than 100 years, the strength of the human clan will surpass that of the ancient humans." Impossible. Godslayer sneered and said, "The ancient humans had many immortals, and the experts below the true immortal realm were not ordinary. With the current situation of the human clan, let alone 100 years, even 1,000 years might not be able to reach half of the ancient humans. It's not easy to become a true immortal, and it's not as easy as you say." "Then let's wait and see," Qin Shujian said with a chuckle. He did not want to argue too much with the other party. Godslayer had always been thinking about the ancient humans, and had always thought that the human clan was the strongest at that time. But in Qin Shujian's eyes, no matter how strong the ancient humans were, they were just a failed race. If they were really strong, they would not have been beaten to such a state by the demonic abyss. Now that the demonic abyss tribulation was coming, if the human clan only had the strength of the ancient humans, then they were destined to not be able to escape this tribulation. So, if the human clan wanted to survive the demonic abyss tribulation, they had to be stronger than the ancient humans, and they had to be stronger than the ancient humans. Changing the topic, Qin Shujian said, "Senior, in your opinion, how long will it take for the 2 stone tablets to give birth to spiritual intelligence?" Soon. Godslayer did not linger on the matter just now, and after a moment of silence, he continued, "The power of faith is the most wonderful. The 2 stone tablets are embellished with the power of faith, and now there is already spiritual intelligence in them. When they grow to a level where they can communicate, it will take a few more years." "Yes." Qin Shujian nodded. A few years wasn't a long time. As the creator of the stone tablets, he could also feel the power of the stone tablets growing stronger day by day. When they were first created, the stone tablets were just ordinary stone tablets. But now, after the embellishment of the power of faith, they had reached the level of a Tao artifact, and they had real power. Currently, they were about a 1-seal Tao artifact, and were moving towards a 2-seal Tao artifact. If the other party wanted to make Zubing, its power had to be at least an 8-seal or 9-seal Tao artifact. After all, even the weakest Zubing was comparable to an 8-seal Tao artifact. The powerful Zubing, it could directly crush a 9-seal Tao artifact. For example, Godslayer in the Sea of Consciousness was like this. Entering the Emperor's palace, Qin Shujian came to the treasury. The purpose of his visit this time was to find the materials to refine the Providence Pill, since he had already made a promise to Emperor Zhao. In that case, the nature pill must be refined. Walking in the treasury, Qin Shujian picked up the storage ring and asked, "What is the realm above the Grandmaster of Alchemy?" "Above the Grandmaster of Alchemy is the Sacred Alchemist." "Sacred Alchemist?" Qin Shujian took out a top-grade spiritual material from a storage ring. After hearing Godslayer's words, there was a little more curiosity on his face. Godslayer said, "The world's elixirs are divided into 9 levels. Actually, that's not the case. Even the top-grade 9th-level elixirs are only somewhat effective for celestial beings. As for perfected immortals, they have already transformed their immortal bodies. Ordinary elixirs won't be effective. The elixirs that are truly suitable for perfected immortals are the sacred elixirs." "What is a sacred elixir?" Qin Shujian fully displayed his virtue of not being ashamed to ask. After a simple conversation, he had already found a few spiritual materials that were suitable for refining elixirs. The so-called sacred elixirs are elixirs that touch upon the laws. In other words, each of these elixirs is imbued with the power of the laws. Rumor has it that the most powerful sacred elixirs are refined with complete laws. Refining elixirs with laws. Qin Shujian's expression changed drastically. Such a method could not only be described as shocking. He had thought the so-called sacred elixirs were only a little more advanced than 9th-level elixirs. But now it seemed The sacred elixirs were not as simple as just a little more advanced. They had completely touched upon the existence of the laws. It was no wonder. The sacred elixirs could be useful for perfected immortals. If that was the case, everything could be explained. Because the foundation of perfected immortals lay in the laws. The sacred elixirs also lay in the laws. To a certain extent, this level of elixir was innately not inferior to perfected immortals. After hearing Godslayer's words, Qin Shujian looked at his own attributes again. When his life source broke through 100 billion, the Celestial Light Alchemy Amulet already had a plus sign that could be upgraded. It was the same as an Array Grandmaster. The level of an Alchemy Grandmaster was also divided into 3 stages. As for now, he was in the 2nd stage. If I upgrade the Celestial Light Alchemy Amulet, will I be able to refine sacred elixirs? A thought emerged in Qin Shujian's mind. However, he didn't dare to be too sure. Immediately after, Qin Shujian thought about it again. I don't need a sacred elixir. Although Emperor Zhao is strong, he hasn't reached the level of a perfected immortal. In other words, for the creation pill to work on him, I don't necessarily need a sacred elixir. Maybe it's close to a sacred elixir. What exactly was a sacred elixir? He had never seen it before. However, when he broke through to the 2nd stage of an Alchemy Grandmaster, the elixirs he refined had already surpassed the scope of 9th level elixirs. However, it was still far from reaching the level of a sacred elixir. Before he got Godslayer, Qin Shujian thought that no one should have set foot in the Alchemy Grandmaster level. Or rather, there had been predecessors who had set foot in it, but all the inheritances had disappeared. This was because there had never been any records about sacred elixir masters in the Eastern continent, let alone the existence of any sacred elixir. Not to mention the sacred elixir. There was no information about the 3 stages of an Alchemy Grandmaster. Compared to the inheritance of the Array Dao, the loss of the Alchemy inheritance was even more serious. So, Qin Shujian originally planned to name the elixirs after 9th level, but now it seemed that there was no other way. Of course, he could be thick-skinned and do so. However, Godslayer would definitely show the contempt he deserved. Half a day later, Qin Shujian left the treasure house. There were already many materials on the heaven list. These materials all met the requirements for refining the creation pill and were currently the top materials in the Qianyuan sacred ground. It was fine if he didn't want to refine the elixir. Since he was determined to refine the elixir, he would do it all in the direction of the top. Soon, Qin Shujian found Qin Yuanbai again. Elder Qin, Bin Huang needs your help with something. Emperor Qin, please tell me. Qin Yuanbai was flattered and then hurriedly said, the emperor sometimes asked for help. That was a good thing. If he could do a few favors for the emperor, it would definitely be of great benefit to him in the future. Qin Shujian said, I heard that there is a 3-seal Taoist cauldron in the 9 Palaces sect. Bin Huang is now preparing to refine the elixir and needs to borrow it. No problem. Qin Yuanbai agreed at once. Soon, he reacted again and looked at Qin Shujian in astonishment. Emperor Qin, you want to refine the elixir? Qin Yuanbai really didn't know. Qin Shujian also knew how to refine the elixir. Not to mention refining the elixir. As the other party's reputation grew, even his original title as an Array Grandmaster was overshadowed a lot. Only the title of a Forging Grandmaster was left. Only after the top Dao tools had been forged a few times did the news spread out and become known to everyone. However, Qin Yuanbai didn't expect that Qin Shujian was also proficient in alchemy. Then, he also realized his rudeness and hurriedly explained, Emperor Qin, please don't misunderstand. I was just surprised for a moment. I definitely didn't mean to question you. Elder Qin, you worry too much. Qin Shujian smiled faintly. Since he wanted to borrow the other party's Taoist artifact, then he would give him some face. As for why he didn't forge a Taoist cauldron himself, it was because he didn't have the time. Forging a Taoist artifact, it could easily take 1 or 2 months. How could he have so much time to waste? Now for the human clan. 1 or 2 months more or less was enough time for them to turn the tables. More importantly, although the speed of the region's derivation was much faster now, it was not true that there would be a region derivation every day. It was almost every 10 days or half a month that a region would be derived. And this derived region might not necessarily be around the Liang Mountain Spirit Domain. If it was too far away, it would take some time to go there. So, Qin Shujian simply borrowed the 9 Palaces sect's Taoist cauldron. After the matter was settled, he walked out of the Qin Yuan realm and came to the Lion-Tiger Plain. Currently, the Lion-Tiger Plains was a forbidden area that could not be casually entered to others. After all, with 3 great demons at the 8th level of the heaven-human realm here, who would dare to enter easily? Last time, when many players gathered in the Liang Mountain Spirit Domain, there were people who took advantage of this opportunity to enter the Lion-Tiger Plain. They wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to kill monsters and accumulate some experience. Then, these players were beaten up by Fire Sage and the others. For this reason, more players called for their friends, wanting to conquer the Lion-Tiger Plain. Next, it was Fire Sage who burned hundreds of thousands of players with a single fire. Ever since then, the news that there was a shocking big boss in the Lion-Tiger Plain was completely spread out. It was also because of this. No more players dared to approach the Lion-Tiger Plain. As for the other native humans, when they understood that there was such a terrifying great demon in the Lion-Tiger Plain, they did not dare to approach it rashly. After all, the strength of the 8th level of the heaven-human realm could be ranked in the top 5 among the human clan. On the surface, there were only about 4 people who had the strength to surpass the 8th level of the heaven-human realm. One of them was Qin Shujian himself. One was Zhao Huang. One was Shi Yang. And the last was Marquis Baiyun. Other than these 4 people, the other human experts were only at the 7th level of the heaven-human realm. There was not a single one at the 8th level of the heaven-human realm. The human clan is really lacking. Qin Shujian sighed. Not long after, Fire Sage and the others flew over and appeared in front of Qin Shujian. Subordinate greets Qin Emperor. You may dispense with the formalities. Thank you, Qin Emperor. Fire Sage and the other 2 straightened up, their expressions as respectful as ever. Qin Shujian had called himself Emperor. This was also something they had not expected. But it was precisely because Qin Shujian had called himself Emperor that the 3 of them understood how terrifying the strength of the person in front of them was. Moreover, the human clan of the Eastern continent was talking about what had happened in the Earth Eldar. Although they had no way to return to the Western continent, they could hear the discussions of other humans and know what had happened. To this, Fire Sage and the others' reverence for Qin Shujian increased by a few degrees. What happened in the Lion-Tiger Plain? Looking at his 3 subordinates, Qin Shujian said calmly. Fire Sage said softly. Reporting to the Qin Emperor, the Lion-Tiger Plain is as calm as ever. Originally, there were some strange people who came to kill demon beasts, but they were all sent back by us. What she said was definitely not a polite invitation for the players to go back. To this, Qin Shujian had no problem either. It was just a player, so what if he killed them? He wouldn't die anyway. Besides, even if he really died, there was no problem. He only had one request. It was that he could not casually slaughter the native humans. What's the situation with the Ox-Vein Master? Qin Shujian nodded slightly and then asked. Fire Sage was slightly embarrassed and said, Ox-Vein Master is fine, but he has been sleeping, so we don't dare to disturb him. Yes. Qin Shujian made a sound of acknowledgement, then looked at Fire Sage and said, Get ready, Ben Huang will need your innate divine fire in a few days. Yes, sir. There was a slight smile on Fire Sage's beautiful face. She was not afraid of being ordered around by Qin Shujian, but she was afraid that the other party would not order her around. One had to know. Only by being useful could one truly live for a long time and live comfortably. It seemed that the 8th level of the celestial being was very powerful, but in reality. So what if he killed him? Not to mention anything else, just the other foreign clans that were imprisoned in the heaven list. Many experts of the 8th or 9th level of the celestial being were killed by the other party. Therefore, in the depths of Fire Sage's heart, there was also some worry, afraid that one day Qin Shujian would not see eye to eye with her and kill her ruthlessly. Now that she heard Qin Shujian's request, She heaved a sigh of relief in her heart. On the other side, Jizhou and Wushan also looked a little anxious and hurriedly said, "We are also at the 8th level of the celestial being, Emperor Qin. If there is anything you need, just instruct us." Damn, they looked for Fire Sage for everything. In this way, it seemed that the two of them were very useless. To this, Jizhou and Wushan both felt a little flustered. Qin Shujian glanced at the two of them indifferently and said, "What methods do the 1,000-pupil clan and the Broken Mountain clan have?" To tell the truth, he did not find any special use of these two clans. The Vermilion Bird clan also had the innate divine fire. As for the remaining two clans, Qin Shujian only treated them as hired thugs. Hearing this, Jizhou said first, "The 1,000-pupil clan has amazing eyesight and can see everything within 1,000,000 miles. Many formations and secret realms cannot block the vision of our clan, and even the small worlds of the various clans can be seen through by our emperor. Besides that, no illusion or phenomenon can confuse the 1,000-pupil clan." In the end, Jizhou's face was already a little proud. Qin Shujian then seriously sized up the person in front of him, the other party's words. It made him think of a character in the legends of his previous life, clairvoyance. If that was the case, then Jizhou's usefulness was really great. No, it should be that the 1,000-pupil clan was very useful. Although Nirvana Realm experts had very strong perception, under normal circumstances, their perception would not be too far away. There were many things. It was not something that could be detected by perception alone. On the contrary, the ability of the 1,000-pupil clan was highlighted. In terms of intelligence work, this clan was the best. Subsequently, Qin Shujian said, "Besides the 1,000-pupil clan, is there also the 1,000 Ears clan, the kind that can listen to the sound of heaven and earth, and no one can hide from them?" He reluctantly described the ability of the Clairvoyance clan. Hearing this, Jizhou shook his head and said, "I have not heard of what Emperor Qin said. With your current ability, can you see through the Qian Yuan realm?" Not at the moment. Jizhou's confident expression disappeared, and he said awkwardly, "The Qian Yuan realm is a small world created by a true immortal, and it is not easy to see through it. However, as long as I can break through to the 9th level of the Sky Human realm, I might be able to see some clues." Not bad. Qin Shujian nodded his head in approval. The 1,000-pupil clan was very useful. In the future, if he had the chance to subdue this clan, it would be of some use to the human race. Subsequently, his gaze landed on Wushan. He knew the ability of the 1,000-pupil clan, but he did not know the ability of the Broken Mountain clan. Wushan said in a deep voice, "The Broken Mountain clan is famous for the two words Broken Mountain. The Broken Mountain clan can pass through any mountain and earth vein at will, and they can also break many restrictions and defensive formations." The simple introduction allowed Qin Shujian to understand the role of the Broken Mountain clan. In general, the Broken Mountain clan was famous for the word broken, breaking mountains and earth veins, breaking restrictions and formations. In that case, in terms of usefulness, it was not much different from the 1,000-pupil clan. Ben Huang intends to form an alliance with the Broken Mountain clan and the 1,000-pupil clan. Do you two have a way to make the two clans break away from being vassals of the demon race? Qin Shujian said. Hearing this, Jizhou and Wushan both had a difficult expression on their faces. "Emperor Qin, I am just an elder of the 1,000-pupil clan, and I do not have much authority. Furthermore, the 1,000-pupil clan has been a vassal of the demon race for many years, and it is not easy to betray the demon race and form an alliance with the human race." Jizhou said with difficulty. He was only an elder of the 8th level of the Sky Human realm, and not the emperor of the 1,000-pupil clan. Trying to persuade the 1,000-pupil clan to form an alliance with the human race was just courting death. On the other side, Wushan probably had the same idea. Qin Shujian did not care too much about this. He had just casually mentioned this matter, and he did not expect the 1,000-pupil clan and the Broken Mountain clan to form an alliance with the human race so easily. Are there any ancient true immortals in the two clans? Qin Shujian asked the question he was most concerned about. Ancient true immortals? Jizhou and Wushan both had blank expressions on their faces. "Our clan has produced true immortals in the past, but we do not know if there are any left. Obviously, a mere elder of the 8th level of the sky-human realm did not have the right to know the core secrets of the clans. Qin Shujian shook his head helplessly and ignored the three of them, walking straight to the demonic bull cave. In the cave abode, the green ox seemed to have sensed something and opened its eyes, just in time to see Qin Shujian in front of it. In the next instant, Niu Dali hurriedly got up from the ground, transformed into a human, and said respectfully, "Greetings, Emperor Qin." Author's note: strictly speaking, the updates for the past 2 days are not considered little, and it is equivalent to 8 or 9 updates for other books. The reason why I did not update 3 times is that I have been having trouble writing recently, so it takes me a long time to write. If I stay up until 2 or 3 in the morning, my work and rest are all messed up. I have been smoothing out the plot for the past 2 days, and then I will continue writing. If conditions allow it tomorrow, I can resume updating 3 times. Chapter 644. The first time he saw Niu Dali, Qin Shujian habitually looked at him. Just as the other party's hair stood on end, he slowly retracted his gaze. Very good. The 3rd level of the divine martial arts. The other party's cultivation improved so quickly. It should be because of the impact of the aura in the Eldar secret realm. However, even so, Qin Shujian couldn't help but be shocked. How long had it been? He had broken through another 2 small realms. Moreover, this was not an ordinary small realm, but a small realm of the divine martial arts. Qin Shujian felt that if he gave Niu Dali a few more years, he might become a celestial being on the spot. He confirmed with Godslayer several times. Niu Dali was not the reincarnation of an expert, but he had the bloodline of an expert. But until now, Qin Shujian didn't feel what kind of bloodline Niu Dali had. Elder Niu's cultivation has broken through again. Congratulations, he said faintly. Hearing that, Niu Dali smiled foolishly. Qin Emperor, you flatter me. Some time ago, a lot of aura suddenly rushed over, so I absorbed some. I don't know how I broke through. To be honest, he cared less and less about whether his cultivation had broken through or not. In the beginning, it was fine. Niu Dali still valued his own cultivation very much. But, as he was able to break through while sleeping, he didn't feel much about his own realm. Anyway, it didn't matter if it was high or low. It didn't affect his sleep. Moreover, even if he became stronger, he was no match for the Qin Emperor in front of him. Since he was no match for him, then what was the use of improving his cultivation? Everything. It was fine as long as he had the Qin Emperor's protection. Looking at the honest Niu Dali in front of him, Qin Shujian didn't say anything. That calm look, it made the green ox's scalp tingle. Qin Emperor, if you have something to say, just say it. Don't look at me like that. It's scary. You have been in my Yuan sect for many years. Now Bin Huang has an opportunity for you, but the premise is that you must swear an oath to serve Bin Huang forever and never betray him. After a long while, Qin Shujian said with a serious face. Hearing this, Niu Dali was puzzled at first, but when he saw Qin Shujian's serious expression, he was shocked. He felt it. Qin Shujian's words were not that simple. If he didn't swear an oath, then his life as a bull might come to an end. Thinking of this, Niu Dali's heart tightened as he hurriedly said, Old Niu, I'm willing to swear an oath. Qin Shujian's divine sense descended and taught him the method of making an oath. Very soon, Niu Dali did as he said. Seeing this, a faint smile appeared on Qin Shujian's face. He said, Elder Niu, there is no need to be nervous. Bin Huang still has a lot of trust in you. The oath of the rules is nothing more than a way to strengthen our friendship. What the Qin Emperor said makes sense. An honest smile appeared on Niu Dali's face. Not swearing an oath. That was the end of Niu's life. It was true that the Qin Emperor had a deep friendship with him. Subsequently, Qin Shujian took out a stone orb. Then, his quintessential essence surged, removing all the sealing power on the stone orb. In an instant, the stone orb cracked. A ray of bright golden light emitted from it. Then, a terrifying power erupted from the stone orb, sweeping across the entire lion-tiger plain. Then, it spread to the entire Liang Mountain spirit domain. Qin Shujian's divine sense moved, and a shocking array covered the entire lion-tiger plain. That terrifying aura. They were all confined within the array. At this moment, in the lion-tiger plain, all the beasts were prostrating on the ground, their heads close to the ground, their bodies trembling violently. Not only that, even Holy Fire and the other Empyrean beings felt that it was difficult to breathe at this moment. This aura is so strong. Ji Zhou took a few deep breaths, his eyes filled with shock. That aura was very strong. More importantly, from that aura, he felt a terrifying power that was above his own. That feeling seemed to come from the suppression of his bloodline. It was many times more terrifying than facing the emperor of the 1,000-pupil clan. Not only Ji Zhou, even Wushan and Holy Fire had the same feeling. Holy Fire's face turned pale, and he said involuntarily, "Immortal, that is definitely the aura of a true immortal." The aura came from the Demon Ox Cave. What happened there? She did not know. The others did not know either. That Emperor Qin went to the Demon Ox Cave. Without his orders, no one dared to approach. So, although Holy Fire and the others were shocked and curious, they did not dare to approach without permission. In the Demon Ox Cave, the stone orb shattered inch by inch, and the golden light it emitted became denser and denser. That power was also getting stronger and stronger. However, Qin Shujian and Yo Dali did not show any discomfort on their faces. Instead, they looked at the golden light, their eyes full of curiosity. Not long after, the stone orb shattered completely, and a drop of pure golden blood was revealed. The golden blood appeared. An abyss-like power erupted from it. Boom! The array shattered, and the power soared into the sky. Then, the phantom of a true dragon appeared, occupying the entire Liang Mountain spirit domain. Compared to the phantom of a true dragon, the star saint of Heavenly Pattern Island was not worth mentioning in front of this phantom. Such a change. This caused everyone to be greatly shocked in their hearts. In the secret realm of the Demon Clan, the Demon Emperor's heart palpitated, and he had no choice but to withdraw from his cultivation. He raised his head and looked into the distance, where the eastern continent was. Strange, why would I have such a feeling? Could it be that some treasure of the Demon Clan has appeared in the eastern continent? The Demon Emperor was not sure. There were not many things that could cause his heart to palpitate. It must be a treasure related to the Demon Clan, or even the past Demon Emperors. In the past, the Demon Emperor would have already left to search for the treasure of the Demon Clan. But now, he did not plan to do so, because that was the eastern continent, where there were 2 half-immortals. Unless the Demon Clan used all their resources, they would not be able to contend against the 2 half-immortals. If the Demon Clan used all their resources to contend against the 2 half-immortals, then the Demon Clan would not be far from destruction. So, although the Demon Emperor's heart palpitated, he did not plan to go to the eastern continent to seize it. I will leave the treasure in the hands of the human clan for now. After Ben Huang becomes an immortal, I will settle accounts with the human clan. Eastern Continent, Lion Tiger Plain, Ox Demon Cave. The Heaven List was taken out from his sea of consciousness and forcefully suppressed the power of the golden blood. Boom! The shadow was destroyed. Only the golden blood was still trembling under the suppression of the Heaven List. The blood of a perfected immortal. Qin Shujian's expression was solemn. The inheritance of the Demon Clan was a drop of blood of a perfected immortal. No, this is not an ordinary perfected immortal's blood. This is the Demon Emperor's blood essence, Godslayer said in his sea of consciousness. Hearing that, Qin Shujian's expression changed again. The Demon Emperor's blood essence. The Demon Emperors of the Demon Clan were as many as the human emperors of the human clan. However, from Godslayer's solemn tone, he was certain that the Demon Emperor he was talking about was definitely not an ordinary Demon Emperor. In other words, this was the blood essence of the ancient Demon Emperor. Moreover, it was very likely that it was the blood essence of the Demon Emperor during the Heavenly Court era. The Demon Emperor of that era Rumor had it that he was a perfected immortal of the upper 3 levels. Qin Shujian said in a deep voice, "The Demon Emperor's blood essence, is it really as simple as the inheritance of the demon clan?" He thought of something, but he was not sure. Godslayer also knew what he was thinking and said solemnly, "I don't know either. The perfected immortal methods of the upper 3 grades are too mysterious. No one can be sure if there are any backup plans left in it." Hearing that, Qin Shujian also fell silent. In Niu Dali's opinion, Qin Shujian stood on the spot and muttered to himself. He looked at the golden blood in the other party's hand, and suddenly a trace of desire emerged in his heart, and then he could not help but say, "Emperor Qin, is this the opportunity you want to give me?" "That's right. This is the opportunity Bin Huang wants to give you. It contains the inheritance of the demon clan." At this point, Qin Shujian paused for a moment. Then his gaze fell on Niu Dali, and his gaze became solemn. At the same time, "This is also the blood essence of the ancient demon emperor. With your current strength, if you swallow it, I'm afraid you will end up exploding and dying." To be honest, Qin Shujian had never thought that the stone ball would contain the blood essence of the demon emperor. He had seen this drop of blood in front of the star sage last time, but at that time, the power of the blood was not released as thoroughly as it was now. So, Qin Shujian did not know much about the origin of the golden blood. But now, he finally understood. This was not a simple inheritance of the demon clan. It contained the blood essence of the demon clan. Looking at Niu Dali's expression, Qin Shujian changed the topic and said again, "Although this is the blood essence of the demon emperor, its real identity is the inheritance of the demon clan. Maybe you won't explode and die after swallowing it. Instead, you can get the corresponding inheritance of the demon clan." But at the same time, Bin Huang is not sure whether the blood essence contains the soul of the demon emperor. If you swallow it, you may explode and die. You may be possessed by the demon emperor, and nothing may happen. And then you can get the complete inheritance of the demon clan, and your strength will increase greatly. Hearing Qin Shujian's words, Niu Dali's face turned green. 3 possibilities, 2 of them were death. Explode and die, or be possessed. What was the difference between both of them dying? "Can I give this opportunity of yours some thought before deciding?" Niu Dali originally wanted to refuse directly, but for some reason, when he saw the blood essence of the demon emperor, there seemed to be a voice in his heart telling him that swallowing the blood essence would bring great benefits. Qin Shujian nodded and said, "Okay, Bin Huang will give you 2 hours to think about it." He did not force Niu Dali to inherit the demon clan's inheritance. If he inherited the demon clan's inheritance and was not possessed by the demon emperor, then the Qinyuan sacred ground would have one more top master. After all, it was the blood essence of the demon emperor. If Niu Dali swallowed it, he would become a diviner on the spot. If it was possible, Qin Shujian wanted to refine this drop of blood essence himself. But he could not do so. The oath had been made. If he coveted the inheritance of the demon clan, he would definitely encounter the thunder tribulation. Qin Shujian knew that with his current strength, he was not qualified to face the thunder tribulation. Therefore, he could either seal the demon clan's inheritance until he died, or give it to the demon clan. Niu Dali was also considered a demon. After all, in the past, there were no independent races in the Eastern continent. There were only humans and demons. Moreover, among the demon clan, there were also many bull demons. Niu Dali might be the descendant of a certain race. Therefore, giving the demon clan's inheritance to him was not a violation of the oath. Besides, there were only a few demon clans in the Lion-Tiger Plain. Niu Dali was one. Fire Sage was one. As for Jizhou and Wushan, they were only affiliated races of the demon clan. It was uncertain whether they were considered demon clans or not. But compared to Fire Sage, Qin Shujian hoped that Niu Dali could inherit the demon clan's inheritance. After all, no matter what, this bull had been with him for a long time. Since there was an opportunity of the demon clan, he would give it to him. Of course, if Niu Dali was really unwilling to take this risk, then he would give the demon clan's inheritance to Fire Sage. Anyway, it would be a waste to keep the demon clan's inheritance in his hands. In that case, it was better to make the best use of it. Time passed little by little. The heavenly list appeared in the sky, suppressing the demon emperor's blood essence. The strange phenomenon in the sky had already disappeared, but the powerful pressure was still wreaking havoc in the demonic bull cave. Along with it, the entire lion-tiger plain was still covered by the pressure. Nyodali was considering. Looking at the demon emperor's blood essence, a struggling expression appeared on his face. Yes or no? This was a problem. Was it to be a quiet bull for Qin Shujian to order around, or to be the #1 fighter under Qin Shujian by swallowing the blood essence? This seemed to be the same problem. Nyodali was a little confused. He found that he couldn't swallow the blood essence. It was all the same. Anyway, the situation wouldn't change. It was just that. Just as he was about to refuse, an impulse surged in his heart and he blurted out, "I want it." Okay. Qin Shujian nodded and directly sent the blood essence to Nyodali. The other party had already made his choice. Then there was no need to ask anymore. Seeing the blood essence in front of him, Nyodali was stunned again. He wanted it. At this time, Nyodali wanted to say that he just blurted out the wrong thing. But looking at Qin Shujian's calm face, somehow, a chill rose in Nyodali's heart. He felt, if he said no, would Qin Shujian think that he was playing with him? If that's the case, then it would be troublesome. Thinking of Qin Shujian's cruelty, Nyodali felt that his heart was trembling. Finally, he looked at the demon emperor's blood essence in front of him. He closed his eyes. He made an expression as if he was facing death calmly and directly opened his mouth to swallow it. On the other side, Qin Shujian's face was also a little strange. So be it if you want to bleed. But he had to make an expression as if he was facing death calmly. Those who didn't know would think that he forced him to do something bad. However, although Qin Shujian was a little speechless, he still put all his attention on Nyodali. The 3 probabilities he just mentioned were all possible. As the demon emperor's blood essence was swallowed, a strong aura emerged from Nyodali's body. At the same time, the other party's realm was also rising at a speed visible to the naked eye. The 4th level of the divine martial realm, the 5th level of the divine martial realm, the 6th level of the divine martial realm, the 9th level of the divine martial realm, the 10th level of the divine martial realm. In just 15 minutes, Nyodali had already reached the level of touching the threshold of the celestial being realm. Do you think that there is really the remnant soul of the demon emperor in the blood essence? Qin Shujian looked at Nyodali, whose aura was soaring, and said in a deep voice. Godslayer said, "I'm not sure. It may really be the inheritance of the demon clan, or the demon emperor may want to use it to be reborn. But no matter what, this drop of blood essence is not that simple. If he is really possessed by the demon emperor, he must be killed immediately. Otherwise, a reincarnated true immortal of the upper 3 levels will grow at a speed more terrifying than you can imagine. And the means of such a strong person can be described as shocking. With your current foundation, you may not be able to deal with him." As for the demon emperor, Godslayer had great fear. None of these ancient emperor-level powerhouses were simple characters. Among the emperors of the demon clan, the ancient demon emperor was strong enough to be ranked in the top 5. And in terms of reputation and prestige, he could even be ranked in the top 3. If not for the arrival of the great calamity of the demon abyss, that demon emperor even had a chance to grow into a 9th level immortal. The Emperor of Heaven also had a very high opinion of him. Godslayer said in a deep voice. Qin Shujian had unknowingly taken out the Godslayer and held it in his hand. Since the other party said so solemnly, then he also had to maintain great vigilance against this demon emperor. Now Qin Shujian had put all of his attention on Nyodali. Once he discovered that there was something wrong with the other party's spiritual deity, then he must have been possessed by the demon emperor. When that time came, Godslayer would behead a newly possessed demon emperor. How could it be possible for him to survive? Boom! A powerful aura suddenly erupted from Nyodali's body. In an instant, the other party's realm jumped from the 10th level of the divine martial realm to the 1st level of the celestial being realm. Moreover, this progress did not stop. 2 hours later, Nyodali broke through to the 2nd level of the celestial being realm. Half a day passed. He had already broken through to the third level of the celestial being realm. Seeing this, Qin Shujian also felt a little sour in his heart. Having an inheritance and not having one, the treatment is completely different. There was Mu Yang before. A heart of wood spirit raised to the celestial being realm on the spot. Now there was Niu Dali. A drop of demon emperor blood essence directly broke through to the third level of the celestial being realm. Thinking of his own struggles day and night, Qin Shujian felt sad. Not long after, Niu Dali's aura steadily stopped above the fifth level of the celestial being realm. Very soon, that powerful aura gradually disappeared. Immediately, Niu Dali opened his tightly closed eyes. A faint golden light flashed and disappeared. Emperor Qin? Seeing Qin Shujian holding the saber, a puzzled look appeared on his face. Qin Shujian said in a deep voice, "Have you been possessed by the demon emperor?" While talking, his divine thought had completely covered the other party's body. Just a while ago, Qin Shujian noticed that there was some fluctuation in the other party's spiritual spirit. But that fluctuation, it seemed that the spiritual spirit was not replaced. So, for a moment, he was not sure whether the other party had been possessed by the demon emperor. Demon emperor? Niu Dali shook his head and said, "I don't feel any problem, but my strength has improved a lot." The other party's expression was normal. At least, Qin Shujian could not see any clues. The stone saber in his hand also said, "His spiritual spirit has not been replaced, but it fluctuated just now. It may be because of the awakening of the memory in the bloodline, or because of the inheritance of the demon clan." Hearing that, Qin Shujian's anxious heart gradually calmed down. He did not believe in his perception, but he also believed in the Godslayer's perception. Since the other party said so, then there should be no problem. In addition to the inheritance of the demon clan, did you also awaken the memory in the bloodline? And what bloodline did you awaken? Qin Shujian's question made Niu Dali confused. After a while, he came to his senses and flipped through the memories in his mind. Well, there are not many inheritances of the demon clan. It seems that there is only one cultivation method called the sky demon entering scripture. As for the bloodline memory mentioned by Emperor Qin, after I swallowed the essence blood, I have some memories that I didn't have before, but I'm not sure if this is the bloodline memory. As for the awakening of the bloodline, I'm not very clear. Niu Dali's face was full of doubts. He did not understand the situation in his body now. Seeing that, Qin Shujian could not help but frown. He did not doubt that Niu Dali would lie, because there was no need for him to lie. Then, he looked at the Godslayer and said, "Senior, can you sense what bloodline he has awakened?" "I can't sense it," the Godslayer said straightforwardly. The bloodline in his body may be hidden very deeply. Even if he broke through to the fifth level of the celestial being, he could not fully awaken it. He may have to become stronger. But in this way, it also proves that the bloodline in this green ox is very high level. It is at least the bloodline left behind by a middle level 3 true immortal. It was at least the bloodline left behind by a middle level 3 true immortal. Qin Shujian frowned again. According to the Godslayer, the bloodline of a middle level 3 true immortal was only one possibility. The other party might also have the bloodline of an upper level true immortal. But no matter what, it was good that Niu Dali had not been possessed by the demon clan. Then, he looked at Niu Dali, who was already a celestial being, and said, "Elder Niu, do you plan to stay in the Lion-Tiger Plain, or go to the Qinyuan sacred ground with Binhuang? After all, the spirit qi in the sacred ground is much stronger than here." "No, I'm still used to it." Niu Dali shook his head. Whether the spirit qi was rich or not was not a problem for him. It was just that he had stayed in the Demon Ox cave for a long time. He would not be used to sleeping in another place. Hearing that, Qin Shujian did not insist. But when he saw Niu Dali in front of him, he couldn't help but have a thought. In the past, it was rude for a green ox in the god martial arts realm to pull the carriage. Would it be much better if it was a green ox in the fifth level of the celestial being realm? Even if it doesn't pull the carriage, it can be used as a mount. When Qin Shujian thought of this, he revealed what he thought was a kind smile. For some reason, When he saw the smile on the other party's face, Nyodali felt a chill run down his spine. Have you ever thought about being ridden? Nyodali did not know how to answer. Seeing this, Qin Shujian did not talk about this matter anymore. Looking at the somewhat confused green ox, he shook his head and laughed. Elder Nyo, don't misunderstand. Bin Huang was just asking casually. Since you have decided to stay in the Demon Ox Cave, then stay here. In my opinion, the Demon Emperor's blood essence in your body has not been completely refined. Take advantage of this time to improve your strength as soon as possible. Don't let Bin Huang down. Don't worry, I know what to do. Nyodali nodded solemnly. He could not continue to be a salted fish. In the past, being a salted fish was still fine. Now that he had obtained such a precious treasure and had advanced to the 5th level of the celestial human realm, his strength could increase greatly. If he could refine all the Demon Emperor's blood essence, Nyodali felt, he could at least break through to the level of a mighty figure. By then, he could be considered a high-end combat power in the Eastern continent. Qin Shujian nodded, then turned and left. Looking at Qin Shujian's back, Nyodali suddenly said, Qin Shujian, where's your saber? Saber? Qin Shujian's hands were empty. He said with a chuckle, I put it away. After that, he ignored Nyodali and left the lion-tiger playing. In the Demon Ox Cave, Nyodali looked a little absent-minded. Did he put the saber away? He seemed to have put it away, but he did not know why. When he saw Qin Shujian, he felt that the other party should have a saber. So, when he saw the other party's hands were empty, he could not help but ask where the other party's saber was. Then, Nyodali retracted his thoughts and focused his attention on himself. At his dantian, a drop of blood essence that had been consumed more than half stayed there quietly. At every moment, a powerful force overflowed and nourished his body. Work harder. Refine the blood essence first. Nyodali encouraged himself, then transformed into his original body and crawled in the cave, silently refining the Demon Emperor's blood essence. Not long after, a thunderous snoring sound could be heard. Heavenly Pattern Island. The moment the Demon Emperor's blood essence was unsealed, Star Saint had already sensed it. In the endless river of stars, a 10,000 zhang long true dragon was entrenched in it. The originally sleeping true dragon had already awakened. The aura that suppressed the river of stars swept through the small world, causing the void to tremble violently. The originally calm eyes. Now, it was completely occupied by anger. How was this possible? How could the Demon Emperor's aura disappear? Damn it, what the hell is going on? The true dragon was furious. Star Saint was about to go crazy. Just now, he had sensed the aura of the Demon Emperor's blood essence. But soon, the aura that belonged to the Demon Emperor completely disappeared. Such an unforeseen event. It was completely different from what Star Saint had expected. How could the Demon Emperor's aura disappear? Who in the world can erase the Demon Emperor's spiritual god? Impossible. Star Saint had completely sunk into madness. It was the same as what Qin Shujian had guessed. The so-called inheritance of the demon clan actually contained a wisp of the Demon Emperor's spiritual god. That was the arrival of the ancient Great Calamity. The Demon Emperor had a premonition that he might fall, so he separated a wisp of his spiritual god to make a comeback in the future. So, whoever used the blood essence would be possessed by the Demon Emperor. In other words, the Demon Emperor could use this to be reborn. Therefore, Star Saint had always kept the Demon Emperor's blood essence and did not use it easily. Until Qin Shujian appeared, he took the blood essence away and sent it to the Demon Clan. As for why he did not give it to the Demon Clan of Heavenly Pattern Island to use, it was a very simple matter. After all, the Heavenly Pattern Island had restrictions. The rebirth of the Demon Emperor did not mean that the ancient Demon Emperor had reappeared. A reborn Demon Emperor. His strength would also be greatly reduced. Moreover, the Sea of Death was extremely dangerous, and the Heavenly Pattern Island had restrictions. Even if the Demon Emperor was reborn in the Heavenly Pattern Island, it would be difficult for him to do much. As for leaving the Heavenly Pattern Island, It was also very dangerous. So, Star Saint did not dare to take this risk. It was only when Qin Shujian appeared that he dared to do so. Because of the other party's strength and the rich luck on his body, Star Saint had a feeling in his heart. That was, Qin Shujian would definitely be able to leave the Heavenly Pattern Island. In addition, there would also be the inheritance of the human clan on Xia Chao's side. At that time, the probability of Qin Shujian returning safely was even higher. As long as the Demon Emperor could be reborn in the outside world, then with the Demon Emperor's talent, it would not be long before he would be able to reach the peak. When that time came, the Demon Emperor would naturally return to the Heavenly Pattern Island and rescue all the demon clans. It could be said, Star Saint had thought of everything, but he did not think that there would be an expert who would be able to erase the Demon Emperor's spiritual deity. Who was the person who did it? Could it be Qin Shujian? Impossible. He does not have that kind of strength. Not only him, there should be no expert in this world who has the ability to erase the Demon Emperor's spiritual deity. 200,000 years ago, Star Saint had already felt the lack of the laws of heaven and earth. In other words, it was only recently that the laws of heaven and earth became perfect. It could be said, the lack of laws for 200,000 years meant that it was impossible for a true immortal to be born in this world. As for the recent perfection of the laws, a true immortal was born. But such a true immortal had only just stepped into the lower 3 layers. Demon Emperor. It was a supreme existence in the upper 3 layers. Even if it was a spiritual deity left behind, it was not something that a true immortal in the lower 3 layers could erase. So, Star Saint could not think of who had the ability to erase the Demon Emperor's spiritual deity. His vibration. It caused the small world to shake. Not only that, but the entire Saint God sect was alarmed as well. A demon clan expert came to the front of the main hall, opened the door of the hall, and walked into the small world. I wonder why the ancestor is so angry. The Golden Rock King prostrated on the ground, expressing his greatest respect for the Star Saint. Although he was an expert at the 3rd layer of the Heaven Realm, but in front of the Star Saint, he was also a junior who had inherited countless generations of legacy. It wasn't just the Golden Rock King. All the demon clan members of the Heavenly Pattern Island and the Saint God sect had to bow to the Star Saint and call him ancestor. The Golden Rock King's words made the Star Saint calm down a little. However, in his huge eyes, there was still endless killing intent. Send a portion of the demon clan cultivators to leave the Heavenly Pattern Island and head to the land. Then, find Qin Shujian and ask about the whereabouts of the demon clan's inheritance. The Star Saint said in a deep voice. As he spoke, the killing intent in his eyes subsided a little. Hearing this, the Golden Rock King's eyes revealed doubt. Demon clan's inheritance? He had never heard of this matter. However, the Golden Rock King did not dare to disobey the Star Saint's words. Ancestor, don't worry. I will immediately send someone to do it. Go. The Star Saint nodded and then closed his eyes again. However, the aura that suppressed the galaxy still made the Golden Rock King tremble all over. After coming out of the small world, the Golden Rock King regained his status as the Saint God sect's sect master. Looking at the many elders in front of him, his expression was solemn. Pass down the ancestors' order. Send a portion of our clan members to leave the Heavenly Pattern Island and head to the land to find Qin Shujian and ask about the whereabouts of our clan's inheritance. Leave the Heavenly Pattern Island? Hearing this news, all the elders of the Saint God sect's faces changed. Sect Master, the Heavenly Pattern Island is surrounded by fierce beasts. If we send our clan members to leave the island, I'm afraid it's not good. That's right. There are many Heaven Realm fierce beasts in the Death Sea region. Not to mention the other clan members, even if a Heaven Realm expert leaves the Heavenly Pattern Island, there is a high chance of them dying. For them, leaving the Heavenly Pattern Island was no different from sending themselves to death. Not only them. If it was any living being on the Heavenly Pattern Island, not many would be willing to leave the island. It was very simple. Without the protection of the Heavenly Pattern Island, it was a dead end. The Golden Rock King frowned and said in a deep voice, I naturally know the risks of leaving the island, but this is the ancestors' order. No one can go against it. Even if I am the sect master of the Saint God sect, it is the same. Moreover, this matter is related to the inheritance of our demon clan. We need an explanation. Regarding these words, the other elders remained silent. The ancestors' order, that was important, but if it involved their own lives, then they could disobey the order. However, this sentence could not be said out loud. Otherwise, if the Golden Rock King blamed them, no one would be able to bear it. Seeing that the elders were silent, the Golden Rock King's eyes were filled with helplessness. Just as he was about to speak, the Star Saint's voice came from the small world. Leaving the heavenly pattern island is dangerous. Only a heaven realm expert can withstand it. Golden Rock, you will personally take action. In addition, you can go to the Fantasy Sea sect and the Jade Wave sect. The Human Clan and Eldar should also have this idea. If possible, join forces with the other two sections. The chances of successfully entering the land will be higher. Hearing this, the Golden Rock King's face immediately darkened. He had originally only planned to send a few clansmen out, but now the Star Saint had personally spoken. It completely blocked the Golden Rock King's path of retreat. As for the elders of the Saint God sect, they all heaved a sigh of relief. They looked at their sect master with gloating eyes. Fine. The ancestor's order was the heavens. Now that the ancestor has spoken, you have to go even if you don't want to. Seeing the elders' eyes, the Golden Rock King directly looked at the two elders who looked the happiest and said coldly, "The two of you pack up and leave the island with me." The two elders were at a loss. What's wrong? Are my words of no use? No, sect master. Since it's not, then go. Wait for me to contact the other two sects and immediately prepare to leave the island. The two of you should also prepare early. After saying that, the Golden Rock King ignored them and left the Saint God sect. Just as the Star Saint had said, leaving the Heavenly Pattern Island, there were many dangers. He was not confident that he could leave safely alone. If the other two sects were willing to help, things would be much better. Moreover, this matter was related to his own life. The Golden Rock King did not dare to be careless. In the Fantasy Sea sect, Xia Kun was serving Xia Chao. After obtaining the giant turtle's corpse, he had refined it and had successfully stepped into the celestial realm. His position had also changed from the elder of the Fantasy Sea sect to the deputy sect master. Suddenly, Xia Chao felt something and said slowly, "Someone from the Saint God sect is here. You should go and meet them." Yes. Xia Kun nodded, then got up and left. P.S. Support the original version, Chidian Chinese Networks, I am decent. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.